Hello there, and welcome to the Tammy Tuckey Show. My name is Tammy Tuckey, and it's good to see you. Back in the day, when Disney released a new animated film, the marketing included everything you could think of, from McDonald's Happy Meal toys, beach towels, costumes, backpacks, lunch boxes, sticker books, coloring books, everything. And when it came to the theme parks, the company didn't wait until the box office numbers rolled in. They produced quality shows, character interactions, parade floats. It was a way to introduce audiences to a new generation of Disney characters. So if you were a kid of the 90s during the Eisner era, the production values were nothing like we've ever had since in the parks at that time. So from the costumes and the sets and the people. And it was a very magical time. So one of the highest reviews shows on property celebrates its 30th anniversary this year, along with the film it's based off of. And running from 1996 to 2002, my family and I were very lucky to see the show on several occasions at the Backlot Theater, which was right off of the New York Street at MGM Studios. That's the name I'll always call it, at Walt Disney World. And my dad, Todd, who is also watching tonight. Hey, Dad. He filmed most of these performances on his video camera because, as he said, my sister and I would love to rewatch the magical moments we saw in the parks. So you're going to be seeing some of those clips this evening, and maybe some of the people in those clips are going to be live with us tonight. Now, that's a treat, and very, very excited. So without further ado, this is The Hunchback of Notre Dame, a musical spectacular.
Ready? We're all ready. We're all ready for the Hunchback.
Obviously, you do something a little bit more difficult.
Hi, Daddy. That was a good time. Watch your head. What the hell? Here they come. Hunchback.
The city awakes to the bells of Notre Dame. The fisherman fishes, the fisherman makes to the bells of Notre Dame. To the big bells as loud as the fire, to the bells soft as a song. And some say the soul of the city's the toll of the bells. The bells of Notre Dame. Here's a riddle to guess if you can. Sing the bells of Notre Dame. Who is the monster and who is the man? Sing the bells, 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 bells of Notre
Alrighty, so for the next 3 hours, we're going to invite the cast and crew from this wonderful show. So here's our first batch of lovely, lovely, lovely guests. Here they come. There we go. Hi, everybody. How are you all doing?
Good.
On, there we go.
Hey, hey.
There we go.
Hi. Crying already.
Crying already.
Hey, everybody. Oh, my gosh. Wow. Angie,
before we jump into talking about the show, let's go through and everybody introduce themselves and what roles they got to play in the show, because everybody was usually playing a different role, one or the other. So let's do the Brady Bunch style, how we're all viewed. So Dan, why don't you go first, and then Jeremy, and then Andrew.
Sure. Yeah, I was very fortunate to play Hugo in that show. A lot of fun doing it, and I just watching that clip, I get chills every time. Every time I hear that.
I learned Quasimodo in 1997, and I subbed it for more than 5 years. And then I was a gypsy, track C and F for about a year full time.
Hi, Andrew, you want to go next?
Hi, sorry. I'm Andrew Thatcher. Andy, I was contracted to play Victor the Gargoyle. I think I might have been the second Victor. Anyway, I came in 1996 in June, and I was there for, I think, about 6 months, and then transitioned to another show in another park. But it was, I'll never forget it. It was the most wonderful time. I got married during that time, made some wonderful friends, had some incredible experiences, and I'm so glad to be here.
Hi, I'm Michelle. Sorry, my lighting is so dark. I'm visiting in Colorado. I'm visiting my new grandbaby, so I'm in a different location. Andrea's already crying. Very exciting. I played Esmeralda for a couple of years. Also married and divorced and children during all of this time. I think the last time I actually did Esmeralda, I was pregnant with my 23-year-old daughter. So I remember that specifically thinking, why isn't my dress fitting? And I knew. Yes, very exciting stuff.
Hi, I'm Andrea, and I was an original, myself and Colleen Covey were original Lavernes. And then I was basically like the go-to in-house Esmeralda sub, because it was easy. If we didn't have an Esmeralda, I was already there as Laverne. So I did that as well. I opened that in 96 when the show opened, and then went to Japan in 98. And then when I came back, I subbed it as well. And I'm already crying. Carry on. Angie, my old roommate. Angie, carry on. I can't do it.
I was not original cast, but I think I was the first new person because one of the other girls was got a Tokyo Disneyland contract, and so I came in for her, and I was one of the Romney character performers, and I can't love this show enough. It was very foundational for me. I was early 20s, and I just learned so much about life from all of you guys.
Too much.
What not to do.
That's scary.
TMI training.
I'm Fran Falcone, the other Fran, and I had the honor of being one of the 2 production stage managers to open the show. I had opened a few shows at the park at that time when they offered me this. I said, really? I just opened a bunch. No, go ahead and do this. So I went into those, 26 days in a row of rehearsals to get us going. And my partner, Mark Burton, was, I could not have done it without him. And all of you lovely people, and all of the people that are going to follow us for the next 3 hours.
So when you saw that clip, obviously a ton of emotions. Why don't we go back to when each of you kind of found out about the show, or even the movie in general? Because it sounds like the movie was in progress at some point in time, and they're like, okay, let's do a show to match with that. So when did you hear about the Hunchback of Notre Dame and auditions?
I saw it in 96. I loved that. The music, of course. I set my sights on it. I was already a character. I was friends with Mickey and Minnie, and auditioned and was cast as a sub. After that, I went on to do a show at Disney's Animal Kingdom too. But yes, it was a wonderful experience.
I kind of fell into it. It was weird. I never saw myself as a musical theater performer. At that time, I was doing the Indiana Jones stunt show and the World Showcase players at Epcot. So I was dating someone at the time, and she kind of like talked to me. You should audition for this show. I was like, I'm not a singer, and she helped me out, and I was very fortunate. And then after that, I started doing Hoop-De-Doo, and then 9 years on Disney Cruise Line. So I all of a sudden, I was a musical theater performer after that.
That's funny. I actually kind of fell into it as well. I was actually working at the sound show as an MC, and at the big stage. I can't think of the name of it. The one with the I Love Lucy eating all the chocolates.
Superstar Television.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah,
so I was doing
I did
those
that
2
show.
shows. Yes,
Yeah.
I love that show. I love that show. And I didn't audition for it, to be honest. They called me. I don't know what happened. I don't know if somebody got hurt. And they were like, we need an Esmeralda. What do you think? Do you want to switch stages? And I'm like, yes, I totally want to do that. And it was an amazing switch. So then I got to do that and Hoop-Dee-Doo and Studio 7 with Andrea. We did
we learned it together, Michelle. I remember. We learned it together.
I know, we did.
More stories about that.
As the stage manager, I'm not involved in the casting process at all. They just give me people.
And a motley crew.
They just give me names.
For better or for worse.
Oh, for better, for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
I think I have a
realize
shot of you guys.
Sorry,
I think
go
I have a
ahead,
shot of you guys with Fran.
Oh,
yeah.
Yay.
Oh, that's before I went gray.
Was the inaugural crew, isn't it? That's
that was in the rehearsal hall. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
I was still wearing split sole Reeboks.
Jeez. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at those. Wow.
I know, right?
A bunch of babies.
Oh, I love that.
Totally.
I learned it. I learned it not with the group, but with what's her name? Denise.
Yes.
Denise Case.
Yeah, Denise.
Case.
Yes.
Fed me into the show, and it fit me into the puzzle.
I realized I misspoke. I think I said 1996, but I actually joined the show in 1997. Anyway, but I was living in Seattle, and I had moved back to the States after having lived abroad. It's a whole story. But a friend of mine, and she and her husband was working down at Disney World, and she said, "Andy, you got to come down here and audition." And of course, at the time they were doing audition tours. I don't know if Disney still does that, but she says, "You got to come down here, and if you don't, you're chicken." So she was one to kind of poke me a little bit. So she convinced me to come down to Florida, and they put me up, and I went to one of the open calls, a monthly open call. And at the time, I loved the film, but I wanted to be Indiana Jones so bad. But and so I was really angling for that. But I did the musical theater audition, and I think they had me read for something. I can't remember exactly, but it turns out I was too tall to play Indy because the big burly guy had to be substantially taller.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I was too short for him and too tall for Indy, and so that was my hopes dashed. But they put me on tape. And my friend said, "Oh, they put you on tape. That's good. That means they'll keep you for maybe something that comes up." And this was January, and then I think it was in maybe late March or early April, something like that. I got a call that said that someone was going to leave the show, and they had a contract for me, and here's a corporate credit card. We'll help you move down, the whole thing. And I just thought, oh man, this is it.
Wow.
So I relocated. Yeah, back when Disney. Anyway, that's a whole conversation. But they were helpful. They were very helpful. And I moved down and found one of many thousands of apartment buildings that were down there for performers. I had no idea what kind of a mecca of performers was down in Florida. And John Graham, who is John coming up, Tammy? John Graham? He's coming.
I don't think he's going to be on the call, but he was one of the Frolos, right? Frolos and Phoebuses?
No, John,
he was original Victor.
He was a Frollo
He was
sub,
Victor.
but he was one of the original Victors, and he trained me, as I recall. And I learned everything from him, and he really set the standard for it, and I got to work with him
for sure.
But I don't think he was the one who actually left, who I replaced, because he continued to work there for several months.
He was there for a long time.
You probably replaced Jeff Shocker.
Okay, and I don't remember if I met
because
Jeff.
he and John were the original Victors, and then John or Jeff Shocker left. So
okay, well there you go.
Yeah.
So and that's how it started for me.
For me, I literally in a 10-minute contract talk went from princess to gargoyle.
As only Andrea can do.
Exactly. And so I literally, I had just done Belle for 4.5 years. I walked into my contract talk and they were like, "Well, we found somebody else on the road for Belle." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And they were like, "But we'd like to offer you this role as Laverne in this new show, Hunchback." And I'm like, "Yeah, sweet." And to be honest, it was the best gift Disney ever gave me because they literally paid me to learn how to be a character actor because ingenue years are finite.
Oh.
And so I still looked and sounded and acted and danced like a ingenue, but I was capable. They, took, Russ Jordan, may he rest in peace, took a chance on me because he knew me and knew my personality. And I said, absolutely. Yeah, let's do it. And then I learned from Tom Vazana, John Graham, all these great actors, how to be a character actor. And it set me up for my future. And then I got to do Esmeralda as well. So it was perfect and make lifelong friends as well. So.
One thing I wish I could have seen, Andrea, was you as Belle. I only saw footage, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful.
Thanks.
But
it was a gift to be able to give, because I never wanted to be a princess, so I'm like the reluctant princess. But it was a great gig, and honestly, like meeting all the Give kids and Make-A-Wish kids was the best.
Yes,
that was the best gift ever.
Yes.
Did you? I guess it was not really strange to leave from one Paris to go to the next Paris, because
honestly, at that point, Paris is and still stands as my favorite city in the world, because I had just spent a year in Europe prior to auditioning. Like, it was an accident that I got this gig at all. Like, I had to be their last ditch effort for a second Belle. They already had Trudy. I had been in Europe for a year doing 42nd Street, and I said to my friends Mark and Dan, who were working at Disney, like, get me an audition so I can write the trip off. And they're like, oh, there's this new show, Beauty and the Beast. Well, right, So I flew in on Friday, auditioned on Saturday, got offered the job on Sunday. I'm like, wow, you really needed somebody. Like, I can sing on key, I look the part, and I can do the waltz. Okay, good. This works out for both of us. So.
Well, let's talk about how they kind of brought Hunchback into the parks, because before this, there was an outdoor theater, same location, and it was for the Spirit of Pocahontas. And we've already had some of the cast members on my podcast years ago talking about that show, which was another beautiful show. I'm kind of sad that both of them couldn't coexist. But anyways, they kind of put a roof on top, and it became the Backlot Theater. And here is the promotional image that they had everywhere. Fran, the director, says there's a story to this, so he's going to tell us a little bit later. But when you guys were hearing a little bit about the film itself, what were you given? Before the film came out, were you guys given like details about the character, so you know how to work with the character and how to portray the character properly?
Well, we were actually similar to Beauty and the Beast, because both of them premiered. Our shows premiered on the same day that the film premiered. So same thing with Beauty and the Beast. We were shown a private showing of what they had at the time. So part of it was animated, whether it was final copy or not. And then some sketches with some overdubbing of like, oh, this is the intent of what this is going to be. So we literally sat in a theater at the Animation Plaza and watched this film, and as actors had to do our own character study and go, okay, how do I copy that? Because it was the actors who were doing the VO, the voice acting, and we had to, that was our job, not to redo the book. It was to do the animation to relay that story of what Disney relayed the story as. So it was a gift to be able to, I mean, it felt pretty special to be able to be in there and see something before anybody else was allowed to see it. But as an actor, it was a gift, because I was like, oh, okay, this is how we do it, and then I pieced Laverne in from part of my mother, the way she dances like this, and my grandmother with her dentures, so I was like, okay, I can be a gargoyle now. So yeah, it's true. She does. She dances with her wrists. What can I say? She's still kicking at 98, still dancing with her wrists.
Well, the reason the Backlot Theater existed is because when the Sunset Boulevard expansion was happening, they would have to take Beauty and the Beast down, and that was not going to happen. So they built the theater in the back, and we did 52 weeks out there before we moved it back to Sunset. Then they had this theater, and they had to put something in it. So bingo, Spirit of Pocahontas. That ran for a while, and then the Hunchback was coming in, and again, a renovation to the stage, add Jim Joy's palette of purple colors to everything, and runways and just ridiculous amounts of things. I wasn't in a lot of that because I was in rehearsal with all of you, and Mark was taking care of being the liaison to what was going on in construction, and it was just incredible. And that roof, I think, still leaks. I don't know. It leaked.
It's gone
on us
now.
a
It's
lot.
obliterated.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
yeah,
It's indoor theater, but it leaked.
Yeah.
It leaked forever. Johnny from one of the maintenance companies, he tried everything he could to find those leaks and whatever. But it's the best show that ever happened ever.
It was
Agreed.
incredible. I remember just being
Agreed.
wowed by it when I went and saw it, and I always thought that as wonderful as the show was at any time of the day, at night,
Yeah.
it was beyond, because the lighting, the lights, you could just get this incredible. It was always beautiful, but at night it was magic, and you don't always get a chance to enjoy it at night because, of course, daylight, would extend in certain times of the year. But I wanted to ask Andrea and I can't remember, and Michelle. I guess you were our two, and is it Michelle, Andrea, and Jeremy? You're the three originals, and Dan as well. You were all original. Forgive me.
I
was right out of my head.
I came a bit later. I learned from Robby Winkelman and Tony the Best, and I was simply a sub. I started about a year.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't get to the show until 2000, I believe.
That's me
Okay.
too.
I need to have a whole timeline with names.
Yeah.
Right?
Forgive me, but
the Begat
I wanted
memo,
to ask you,
casting Begat.
for those who were there at the beginning, who remember, because I moved from Hunchback to Journey into Jungle Book,
Right.
Sure.
when the Animal Kingdom opened in '98, and that was an incredible adventure into
Oh, yeah.
itself. There was an inaugural cast that built the show, and then I came in with a couple other casts, and we learned the show. But it was still from the ground up. It was beyond, and there's a whole other. You could do a whole other talk about that, Tammy, just to let you know. But I wanted to ask you.
Oh,
all,
I know.
Yeah, I know. Because Fran directed both shows.
Yes, he
Fran
did.
Soeder, our wonderful director. And I just wonder, Michelle and Andrea, if you remember at all, if there were anyone who was, how much creative control and freedom did Fran have? I'll put it that way. It seemed to me like he had incredible freedom, considering how much puppetry and everything that it did creatively to make the show work. There are stories that I could tell about the Journey to Jungle Book, about some folks at different parts of the company that try to impose their will and things that happened. That's a whole other thing. But I wondered, was Fran just like, here, Fran, do it, and then he did it? Or were there too many cooks at times? How did that work?
No. I mean, honestly, from my recollection, because I was original, was that Fran is very inclusive as far as the creative experience, and it's about, he may be the director who has the creative artistic vision, but he was from the very get-go, very hands-on with all the people, the Romani characters, and as puppeteers, and he treated them like actors as they were, And at Disney, that's always a fine line of whether people are treated as a character, which in my mind is no less, but in some people's mind was like, he treated everyone as an equal part of the cast and an equal artistic collaborator. So there was so much collaboration, and we had to get used to so much change, but it was a beautiful environment because he was willing to listen. Like, I'm sure you'll find out in the next 3 hours, people who were part of the Romani cast that, and as well as, the Gargoyles and Esmeraldas and other main characters that, he consulted us and what do you feel here? But he also had Janet Watson, who was freaking incredible, and they were tight friends, but her choreography was very much not just about the movement, but the movement to tell the story. It was all about telling the story. And so it was an overall beautifully vibrating rainbow of creative culture, and we just happened to be lucky enough to be inside of it. And
Indeed.
So I don't recall there being any pushback, but Fran, you could I was
either.
never witness to it.
I don't remember any issues with Fran having problems. No.
I mean, one of our favorite moments was being in a note session where we're all in the green room, we're all sitting on the couches, and Fran opens up a note session with, "One morning I was in bed eating breakfast, reading Brecht with Uta Hagen." And most of us were like,
what?
Like the younger kids were like, "What's an Uta Hagen?" Like, and like Tom and John and I were sitting next to each other and we're like, But it was a real story. It was a factual, real story, and he had a point to it. He had a point to it. So it was such a gift to have him and Janet. I mean, you know, I don't think I'll ever have an experience like that ever again.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Something to be there at the very beginning and see it come together.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tim.
Yeah. No, you're fine. You're fine. Michelle sent over some pictures, and so did Andrea. So I thought we'd share a couple of them. So here are some shots.
Oh, girl.
Here we go.
Mine is that one. Perfect. Randy and Robby.
Such high professional standards. The best.
Yes.
Oh, we were pinnacle of professionalism.
Oh no, come on. That's the fun. Is you guys are working so hard.
Oh, there's me.
Oh, look at you, Andrea.
me and
Oh my
John.
gosh.
It's
Wow.
So fun.
Oh, how fun.
Those couches.
You look
Those
fabulous.
couches.
The couches.
Oh
Lord.
yeah, the couches.
I always
Lord
thought it would be a
have mercy.
fun bit to get permission to take my Laverne outfit to New York to stand in line in January for an equity audition.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not cold. You all are cold. Fine. I got my couch. I'm good.
I've been there too, Andrew. Staying at 5:30 in the morning on the street
Yeah.
outside of Actors Equity. Yeah.
Yeah. If only I had.
There
my
was
couch.
coming down.
There was a show we did on Disney Cruise Line where we did like a Hunchback number, and they brought over a lot of your old costumes to the ship, and they still had everyone's name tag in them. It was amazing. I saw Jim's name in there. But it was fun to kind of relive those moments on the cruise ship, years later.
That must have smelled incredible.
Yeah.
That little
What did that
shed.
smell like?
Do you remember the shed in the back with those? They were like airplane propellers blowing air at the couches.
It was a yeast factory. It was just a bakery.
Oh man.
Oh, that's
well, Tammy, the big plush pieces that we wore on the outside, we all called them the couch. We all had our couch that we wore. That's what it was called. And then there was a tunic with the big billowy sleeves, and then we had our gauntlets, and then we had the headpiece, and we all had tights and black shorts and
t-shirts.
Wearing that in July and August in Florida is such a
and
joy.
a leather harness.
The harness with the metal in the back so
harness.
they could hook the wings. The wings were the last thing that went in.
The only skin that was showing was our face. That was it. The rest was covered multiple times.
Now,
So that's why they had
the couch sort of strapped onto the back, and only half of the face was covered. But coming from characters, I had no complaints because it was.
My hat's off to the characters who are completely encased. My goodness.
Wasn't there a quasi full face at one moment in time?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think there was a full quasi
I have a
face.
promotional. I should have grabbed it. I have a promotional piece from that early, from a
I
magazine.
think I have the other copy of that, and I'm going to show it towards the end because there's the one that I just showed is the quasi from the stage show, and then the one is the full face one from the.
Well, there was a couple times too where we had to do meet and greets outside the theater wearing those
Yeah.
costumes.
Sure.
But it was
But
like Andrea said, it was often for Give Kids the World kids.
Sure.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the kids would be like, "I love you, Esmeralda," and the parents are off on the side like weeping because their little child is just like.
Well, like
that made it
case
all
in
worth
point,
it.
there was what one of the fabulous kids that wasn't part of the program, Linny, that I met when I was doing Belle. Of course, the handicap section was in the front, and I saw this beautiful redhead who was just so joyous and loving the show. And then when I would come out in the gold gown, she would start bawling. And so I said to one of my ops friends, I said, "Hey, if that family comes back again and I'm working, please let me know because I would love to do a meet and greet." And I just lucked out that I could tell I'm British, Irish. I was like, they're Brits. I know it. And they look like my family. So I was like, they're probably here for more than a week. And so I lucked out and they were. And so we met and we did meet and greet and I got to know them. We became really good, tight friends. And so when I had to explain to them when I moved to Hunchback that I was like, I don't know if Lindy's going to understand this or not. She had cerebral palsy and, about 5 years old on the inside. And don't you know, when we moved over to, Hunchback, and then I would come out on stage as Laverne, and then Linny would be like, Laverne!
Amazing.
Hilarious. And she got it. Like, she understood that I was an actor, but like we would hang out, like I had them to my place for Easter and whatever. And she understood it. And so when they got really close with the Hunchback cast as well. And so I went over to England for her funeral when she passed. And it was a totally magical time because she was a teenager then. And like I was witness, we were at the Olive Garden. She's like flirting with this young waiter. And I'm like, go Lenny, you know, but so and she, you know, she was really into Westlife, which is a boy band from Ireland or England. And they did a remake of I Have a Dream from ABBA. And so when she passed, her mom, Pat, told me, you know, hey, when we were in the hospital and they were working on her and then she was gone, all of a sudden, you know, everything was a frenzy. And when they realized that she was gone, all of a sudden they realized music had been playing the whole time in the room, and all of a sudden it was I Have a Dream, and it was Westlife, and I was like, so being able to come back from England to share that with the cast was such a gift. Like, I would stand out in the August heat in Florida for hours for a gift like that. That was the best part of our job.
In many days I enjoyed it more than having done the show. I'm like, oh god, we get to meet the kids. Great, let's go. You know,
best moment. And I think Fran, the director, had said that when I was talking with him just before we started, he had said that Disney had told him that this was the best reviewed show on property. It just, the reviews kept coming in, and our family always was wondering, why did they stop it? You know what I mean? Why? Did you guys ever hear why they decided to end it? Because I remember that theater was really left alone for a long time. Even I remember a home videotape from the next year, 2003.
It was used for storage for a while,
and there was nothing.
It seems such a missed
I don't remember why, because I didn't stay with the show very long. They moved me on, and I don't recall when it happened either. But very sad.
There were. Go ahead. Sorry, Andrea.
No, go ahead.
Well, I of course I came into the show. You guys had already been performing it for 8 months, about a year, I guess. But you all had so many stories about all these different celebrities who came to see it, and I remember one of the great compliments, it seemed to me it was a great compliment of a story, was Doug Henning, the magician, I was told, came to see the show. And instead of sitting quietly in a seat and enjoying the show, someone told me that he was pacing back and forth behind the seats, watching and studying what you were doing, and the reveals and the effects, because he, of course, knows all about those things, and he was trying to see how you did it. And that's sort of unheard of, to have someone like him to be so fascinated by how the show was put up. What a great compliment to Fran and to all the technical folks, and to, of course, the performers who brought it all together. I was so pleased to hear about things like that, and other celebrities, of course, who just were in awe of the show. I'm sure Andrea and Michelle, all of you have people you could name.
Yeah.
But I just remember that one in particular.
Talking about how it was so well revered by audience members, years later, over a decade later, I was working as an artist in residence at MD Anderson in Orlando, working on art, whether it's visual art or talking to people about theater or dance or singing, whatever, while they were going through their chemo. And there was a husband of a patient, and he needed a break, and nobody wanted to work on art. So we were just kind of in the same alcove, and we just kind of started talking. And they were British, and he said something about, coming here a lot, they had lived here part of the time, and said something about Disney. He had no idea that I had any links to Disney whatsoever. Didn't come up in conversation. I didn't say anything. I was just there to listen. And he was like, oh man, there was this one show they did that was just my favorite show ever, and I can't believe why it was gone. And I was like, and I knew he was going to say it. And I said, what show was that? And he goes, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I'm like, I agree.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The best show.
Angie, did
Fran,
you?
I have some footage. Of a speech you gave after one of the parody shows. So I thought I'd show a little clip of that. So here we go.
Oh, that was wasn't that a yearly thing? I'm trying to remember.
Fabulous. I just want to thank everyone who's here tonight. I'm just completely overwhelmed by the number of people that are here. And I've had a wonderful 18 years at Disney, and I've had 4 days of self-employment. I'm a little rested. I kind of like that. That's kind of nice. But I've had wonderful opportunities in all the areas I've been here. I've met some fabulous people and had some great experiences. I hope to take them on with me and come back once in a while. And I can't even thank you enough. This was so incredibly wonderful. I brought my dad here tonight. It's my dad, Vinny. Very, very, very special moment. Thank you. I can't even thank you. I can't even thank you enough. It was fabulous. It was fabulous.
I was thinking about that today, that you did that show that there were characters from every show that I had stage managed were somehow weaved into the Hunchback story. It was amazing. It was amazing. You guys are great.
Is that the one where we had Daddy wash your hair?
Somebody well, I did have a hair washing at one point. But
Andrea, you have to tell us who Daddy is.
Oh, Mark
gosh.
Taylor.
Daddy, he'll be on later. He'll be on later.
Mark was Daddy to all of us. He was
and I was Mommy, and it was from a sick, disgusting joke, but it stuck.
Okay, moving on.
And I never heard that joke. I just came in thinking, and I'm like, oh, everyone's calling him Daddy, and okay, then that's what I'll say too. I'll call Mark Daddy.
Alan in the chat says President Carter saw the show one day. So did Bruce Willis when he came with Demi Moore and their kids.
Hey,
you guys, were you there for that or?
I don't remember that, but
I
Al
wasn't.
was original cast
I heard about
too.
the Bruce Willis one though. Yeah,
I was there once when Mandy Patinkin was in the audience.
I would have died. I would have died if I was there. I would have died completely. Completely.
Did he talk to you guys? Because there's the story. He auditioned for the film and it did not go well.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
He was supposed to be Quasimodo. Kurt Wise, the director, has told the story to me and to people before it's public. But it did not go well at all because he brought in his own music, and Alan Menken and Stephen Schwartz were not happy, and that was the end of that. But yes, so I'm just curious. What did he say to you guys?
I didn't meet him. I just remember that I was the part-time guy, and it was my turn in the rotation, and I got to sing for Mandy Patinkin. I was so thrilled, and I tossed her. But I don't remember a talkback. Does anyone else?
I was only there. I opened it in '96. I went to Tokyo in '98, and then came back, and then subbed it after that. So there's a lot of stories I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
And I agree because I went and helped on Jungle Book too, so I wasn't there very long.
Yeah, I went.
But Andrew, you said you know the Bruce story.
Well, I hope I'm someone else who was there. Hopefully, in the folks to come will be able to tell. But I remember being told that Bruce was there with Demi. Of course, I'm like that with them. But Bruce and Demi. Anyway, a lot of people watching. I hope they know who they are. It's like, yeah, Bruce and Demi Moore were a thing. Anyway, they were there and were sitting right there up front, somewhere in the front area. The VIP area, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they had a minder who was taking them around. But apparently, when Phoebus said, "Frollo has attacked Notre Dame herself. Will we allow it?" Apparently, Bruce, at the top of his lungs, went, "No!" Like just let out a war cry. So I was told.
Oh my gosh!
Great story. We'll accept that. We'll accept that.
Yeah. I just have to quickly say. I just got back from a fabulous weekend with Randy Glass, one of our original Clopans.
Oh, Randy.
And one of my dearest friends. And a friend of ours is artistic director down in Bowling Green, Kentucky at the Sky Pack. And they just did Hunchback. And so he flew in from New York to Cincinnati. I picked him up. We drove down there and we got to see it last night. I mean, granted, not the happy ending that we had, but it was so beautiful. And, Grace crying and everything. But man, it's so still impactful. It's incredible. And it brought back so many memories. And it was really
that
awesome
first Cape swirl. And I was in tears,
Yeah.
I'm working at the other theme park in town right now, and no.
I don't care. I retired. I don't care.
How dare
You shall not be named.
In a Viking area somewhere, but
gotta make a living, man.
With
one of the
dragons.
puppeteers that I'm working with, she when I told her that I was doing this, she was like, apparently Hunchback was like one of her favorites. She showed me videos of her as a kid seeing the show.
Aww.
It's still impactful.
Absolutely.
You mentioned Cape Swirls, and I defy you to find one person that was one of the character performers that does not put a coat or jacket on like a Cape Swirl.
You got it.
Still swirls.
Come on. You know we're all still doing it.
You guys had it down.
I would love to mention the learning of the Romani roles, the ensemble. When I learned that, I found that more challenging than playing Quasimodo. And maybe Angie can speak to this, because there were elements of being in the ensemble that was crew, there was safety elements, there was puppetry, and to learn different tracks, that was, like, as I said, I had more trouble learning that than learning Quasimodo.
Traffic control. Yeah.
Angie, how long did you do it, Angie?
I came right after the opening in '96, and then I, with Fran and Andrew, went over to Journey into Jungle Book in '98.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, it was a traffic thing, and all the different roles, the different tracks, and everybody kind of crisscrossing, and it was just such a beautiful way of being seen but not seen at the same time, which was such an interesting experience, especially as a character performer. But yeah, it was intense, and then you can't forget where you're supposed to be going, or else that was going to be a problem.
I believe that was one of the first shows where we added the second stage manager, because we need, the booth was out front, but we needed somebody on deck to help with the safety tracks. And it's like when Nemo opened, they had two stage managers, one on deck, because of all the activity that all of those levels of cast were involved in. And the staging specialists with those giant poster boards on the back of all of the tracks and the subs in case someone had to go in. Am I supposed to train these tracks? Not me. I had staging specialists to do that. They knew how to do it. There was way more stuff than I could ever remember.
Yeah.
Andrea, can you tell the brief tale of the sorry, this is my cat Stanley.
Stanley.
There he went. Now he jumped away. He's daddy's
We
boy.
scared him.
There was an Esmeralda mannequin that was cast from life.
We're gonna get to that later this
evening.
We'll get there.
We'll
get there.
We shouldn't hog all of it.
We
we
gotta.
Yeah, we're hogging a lot of time.
I'll just say that she freaked me out once because she looked so real. Like she was asleep on the couch in the green room, literally asleep on the couch in the green room.
Oh my God!
We have a photo of her. We'll show her.
Yeah, she was another cast member for sure.
Oh yeah. I had to pay her once a week too.
Do you have is the photo of her dressed up as Tina?
Tina Frazier.
Yeah. She was dressed as a
Well, before we rotate out, I just want to do a quick Kodak moment. So everybody look at the camera on the count of 3. We're just gonna smile and do a nice picture all together. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1, smile. Perfect. And let's go through it one more time. Just want to ask one more question. Give me one word that describes your experience on Hunchback. So we'll go in the same order we started. So Dan, go ahead.
Oh my goodness. Pressure. One word?
That's your one word.
That was
next.
it, pressure.
Memorable. Memorable.
I will say ensemble.
I have to do 2 words. Hot collaboration.
Captivating.
Family.
Yeah.
Depth.
Life-changing.
Well, thank you guys so much. I'm so glad you guys could start the show tonight. This was fun. We're on a roll. So I will let you guys go off into the sunset over to Notre Dame itself, and they'll see you in the chat, I'm sure. So continue following us and chatting along. So thanks
for doing
guys.
this, Tammy.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you so much for organizing this.
We'll see you in a bit. All righty. There they go in a court of miracles. Off they go. Alrighty, while we're waiting for our next batch of lovely ensemble and cast and crew to join us, I wanted to share some photos of backstage. So we actually got to meet Phoebus. So in the middle of that photo, that's my mom holding my little sister Terry, who she's 27 now and I'm 30. Oh boy. And there I am getting my card, my Quasimodo card, which we'll see a photo of later. And they would hand out, if you got a special meet and greet, they had the heart card and everybody would sign it. So I still have that, which is wonderful. And when Clopin was still meeting on the right-hand side at the Great Movie Ride. And then Halloween on the left side, we loved our Halloween, and I still had my Esmeralda dress for years. So before we move on to the next group, here's a clip of somebody who's actually going to be joining us from the next group. It's Phoebus himself from that one photo. So here's the little meet and greet. You're going to see my mom, my sister, myself, and Phoebus. And then my dad's holding the camera. So here's the little meet and greet.
See, just like he'll be just like us.
Hi
there.
Hi.
Hi. Look at that face. Hello. This is your big fan right here. What is your name? Tammy, can I have a hug? I'll see you later.
Thank you. Hi, Karen.
Tammy, where are you from?
Pennsylvania.
I've heard of the place. I've never been there myself.
Tell what you like to do.
The
Ariel show.
The Little Mermaid.
Tell you what to sing and dance. We go left off in the morning.
You take dance class?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Did you take dance class when you were younger? Huh? Did you?
Yes, I have taken a few classes myself.
So let's bring in our next group, our lovely group here. Here's Phoebus himself. There's Robert, and there's Robby, Quasi, and Laura. And I think we have some people joining us a little bit later in this round. But hi, guys. How are you?
Great. This is so wonderful. I can't even tell you how wonderful this is. Just listening to everybody on the last group. Awesome.
Oh my God. I don't
Hey,
know.
Robert.
Hi. You guys can hear me.
We can hear you. Can't see you. Are you okay? Are you there?
Yeah. Oh God, me and technology.
We need to see that beautiful face, Laura.
Do I have to log in or can I sign in?
There should be a button on the bottom. There's the microphone button and the camera button. So just click that camera button and it should pop up. If you're on an iPad or an iPhone?
No,
and while we're waiting, I do have some photos. I think this is of you, Robby. Let's see. Maybe?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Yep.
There you are. Look at you with the little heart card.
Yep. Sweating my
I
butt
love
off.
that. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the mask. I guess that was really difficult to keep glued on during the day, because I've done shows where it's like you have to glue on face pieces and it's tough.
Yeah. So interesting story about the mask. It was latex, so it wasn't glued on. It actually had a hair net on the back that kept it on. So it didn't have to be glued or anything. But
good.
It's an interesting story about that mask. Now, I know in the earlier session they talked about there's a picture of the original mask that the Disney creative was trying to come up with. It was a full face mask, and it had eyes that were designed out of that material that they use a lot on buses, that you can print something on it, but you can still see through it with little dots. That's what the eyes were made out of. Originally, that was the mask, and we went through a lot of different trials and error before they came up with that one. So, but everybody had their own custom mask. They actually took molds of my face, where they took straws up the nose and put plaster and did a plaster mold. So, sit there for 20 minutes with your face covered in plaster with 2 straws up your nose. Not fun, but that was how they did it, and they molded the mask from my face.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I heard that they used to do that for SNL a lot too, and that's how they have everybody's cast and molds and things like that. So did they ever let you keep one, like one of the face pieces, because it was for you specifically, right?
No, it's I hope it's in some prop storage room somewhere at Disney. It would be wonderful to see that, but it's interesting you said SNL, because I believe they got some special effects guys that they had to fly down because they were running out of time. The show was getting ready to open and they had to come up with something, and they spent a lot of money to bring these specialists in to create the mask and to get the Disney creative people to check off that this is going to work okay, because this is a first in some ways, because a lot of the characters, they create the masks that you see in the park and stuff, and they look exactly like the animated character. Well, this one, because it was an actor playing the role, there's some creative liberties that they had to do. So it was quite an experience.
I'm sure. I think we got Lauren. There she is.
There she is.
Hey. Now we can see you.
Hi.
I always said
so tell. Go ahead, Robert. Say that again.
I always said she looked like Gina Davis.
Yes.
Who, me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Gina Davis.
Yeah, that's one of those that you can never see what other people see in you, but I'll take it. I mean, who doesn't want to be told they look like Gina Davis?
So Robert, you played Phoebus. Robby, you were Quasi. Laura, you got to play Esmeralda. Did you guys play any other roles in the show, or are those your what you were contracted for?
Yeah,
that's it for me. Yeah,
me too.
How long did you guys both get? All three of you get to do the show? Like, what were the years you guys got to do it?
Robby.
Well, I opened the show.
You opened the show
in 1996, and I closed
with
it.
That golden voice.
Oh, I did the whole run of the show, and I was so sad to see it end.
Oh,
yeah,
me too.
Did you guys ever hear why they ended it, or did they ever say why they ended it, or
no?
It's hard to say. I think they had plans to redo that whole park, and they were going to repurpose the theater. Did they turn that theater into probably a conditioned theater, since we all used to melt like candles throughout the summer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I'm like sweating. I feel like when I get around my Hunchback people, I'm always sweating. So nothing different than the normal. Yeah, but interesting thing about there was like a campaign of a lot of super fans of our show and pass holders that like tried to write letters and get Disney to reconsider keeping the show.
They could have relocated, I felt like, because the theater wasn't closed at some point. I think Heather from the cast, who's going to be on the show later, she was saying they were using it for Star Wars weekend, and it was used, for press events and things like that. And then before Frozen went into the American Idol building, it was in this building, the Frozen sing-along, and then they moved it, and now it's Star Wars, Star Wars land. So yeah, you would think that they would move it somewhere else, because there really wasn't a lot to do at MGM. And
is there now?
Sure,
I haven't been back. I don't know what have they done with it since? Did they turn it into a whole new situation?
It's kind of quieter. It's kind of quieter.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I know they just put the animation building went from a Star Wars building, and we can hear you. we can hear you moving the paper.
I'm trying to make my thing. I want to be able to watch on the YouTube side. I want to see all the comments, because I'm having so much fun seeing everybody's names. But I had to just switch computers so you could see my video. I don't know why that wasn't working. Anyway, technology.
It's okay. Yeah, they just redid the animation building, and now they have handprints from Disney characters and Quasimodos included. So that's yeah, we're excited for that. So the reason I think Robert and Laura, you guys have been on the show before, which has been great, because luckily for me, since I had so many people on my cast member corner segment on my podcast, people were able to spot people on my home videotapes on YouTube that my dad made. So that's how we got in touch, which was just wonderful. So I'm so glad I get to meet you. And then Robby, for years, I'm like the myth, the legend, because again, you were on most of the quasi. You were always usually the quasi on our tapes. So such a joy. So were the three of you usually paired together, or it counted on like how they kind of structured and scheduled everything?
Ended because Laura and I learned the show together.
We did.
Together, right? Yeah.
We did. We did. I have.
No, it just depended on how we were scheduled.
I have a hilarious picture from my first week, which shows the broken finger that Daddy gave me in our very first sword fight. Right. And the bruises all up and down my legs. This show was so physically difficult for everyone. People were out on medical leave like all the time.
Ooh, geez.
Yeah.
Did they ever have like a physical therapist? Oh, somebody says Brett says hi.
Oh.
But did they ever have a physical therapist for you guys?
No.
No,
not that I recall.
You got hurt. You went to that whole medical center, wherever that was, and things. Oh my God, I hurt so many things.
Yeah.
And then
jeez.
I refer you to a doctor or something, but no, just the Disney Medical Center.
Yeah, the joke was they had a special room just for the Hunchback cast because it seemed like we were rotating in and out of that place all the time with injuries.
I bet they did. I don't know how you didn't pull. I don't know how the Hunchbacks didn't like pull out your shoulders left, right, and center. The swinging of that rope.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's interesting. I'll tell you something, Tammy. A lot of people want to know how we did the bell. A lot of people think it was a bungee cord that we were going. I wish it was, because that would have been much more easy to do. But it was actually a pendulum system. Larry Lee, he was the stunt coordinator for our show, and he designed it so it was a rope that was tied to a cable that had a pulley that went up over the top of the back of the stage and then went out on the side outside of the theater, and it was attached to a pendulum that had weights on it. And they calculated about 200 pounds was just enough to get the pendulum to swing, and it was the momentum of the pendulum swinging up that carried us up and down. And so
oh boy.
So now I know you're a singer, Tammy, and the rest of you singers. I mean, it's hard when you have to do a song after doing some like major physical activity. And it was tough because to get that pendulum going, you had to really pull hard and let the momentum pull you up and then pull down and pull up. And you know, the show, you land and you do that opening scene, and the whole time you're spending that scene trying to get your breath back.
Yes.
And as a singer,
wearing a costume the size of a couch.
Yes. And as a singer, I picked up a lot of bad habits doing that show because, you know, when you're singing and you're standing there, you properly find the right places to breathe. You sing through the phrase, you know, melodically it works. Oh no, when you're trying to catch your breath, you take these little cheater breaths throughout the song because you don't think you're going to have enough to get through the phrase. And when you have to sustain these notes. So it was a challenge. I mean, it was a very physical show for not only the quasis, but for everybody.
For everybody. Being outside, I remember things like swallowing a bug in the middle of my song one time.
Yes.
I remember inhaling like fireworks from the scene where I like or disappear, like swallowing.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
I never worked. I seriously
it was a workout.
Yeah, and then you know, being that it was an outdoor theater, the heat was like a beast in itself because you'd get these scorcher of a day, and there was fans blowing in the stage, but it didn't really do anything. It was just blowing the warm air around, and then you get a rain shower that would add the humidity into it. And there was many times all of us were fighting with water on our microphones. We'd had the little microphones that were taped to the side of our face, and it made a nice little channel for the sweat to run down, and it would puddle on the end of our microphones. And so at times you'd have to like kind of do a little flick to get rid of the ball of sweat on the mic. Yeah, wasn't pretty.
Oh my God.
I used to marvel at the quasis every single day. I mean, Do you remember? I don't know if anyone knows the name of that beautiful older man who would come every single week and take photos of all of us.
Wolfram.
And then he would.
Oh, David.
David. Okay. Then he would deliver a set of photos like this big every single week. So I have a stack this big of photographs from just my little time in the show. And my favorites were the ones where we all literally looked like candles that were melting. Like the sweat, the drenchness of our costumes. And again, nothing compared to Quasi. Like I don't even know how you physically did it, Robby.
Oh, it was tough. And Jeremy talked about it. Like the costume was made. They spent a lot of money for professional costumers to come in and figure out a way to make this costume create the illusion of the hump, but also to be light and be able to dry quickly, knowing that we were going to perspire. And so they actually used like a netting material, and it was stuffed with air conditioning foam.
Wow.
Because the air conditioning foam was not so dense. It had a little bit more air pockets between the foam, but it could create that illusion, and it wasn't heavy. And so when it would get wet and from our sweat, they could dry it quickly. But the worst part was, and I love their costume team. They were so great, but sometimes they would leave the suit in the dryer too long and forget to take it out. And then we'd have another show, and then you'd get like a hot costume to put on, which was not fun, but we learned to deal with it. They put ice packs in the sleeves of the costume, but I'll tell you, talking about the heat, it even on the hottest days, if there was a child out there that wanted to meet the cast, there was no question. Nobody complained. Everybody said absolutely. Even though you're dying of sweat, we always would go out and meet kids.
It was the best part of being in the show, and being in the show had like an endless number of insanely valuable aspects to it, but it was incredible. These families, every single family was so incredibly special, and you saw in the few minutes we spent with their child and with their family, you saw everything that went into everything they were doing for those children. We didn't care. We were so happy to be there. It was amazing.
I think that was the big draw for our show, honestly, is that it was taking a detour from the typical Disney format of the princess, you know, and she falls in love and everything. This was a very dark story, and I applaud Disney for taking a chance on this one when the animation team said, hey, we're going to take Victor Hugo's Hunchback novel. We're going to try to spin this into a story. Very dark. I mean, it was the first story that was kind of dark. And I think our director, Fran, did a brilliant job of picking the key parts of the show to kind of avoid the uncomfortableness of the movie. Like when Quasi gets pelted with fruit after the topsy-turvy, and then Hellfire, which is a great, powerful song, tells you a lot about Frollo's torment. You know, couldn't do that in the show, but what was in the show was so great. But I think the draw was because it connected with so many people who ever felt like an outcast.
Yeah.
And primarily the kids with disabilities, or didn't feel normal. We became an anthem for them. Like Out There was their anthem. It's like they just connected so much with Quasimodo because he wasn't the typical Disney character that they had seen time after time. It was somebody that even in the script, he's like, I'm not normal.
It was really the first mark of representation.
Yes.
Think about it. Like, for inclusion 100%. for people who weren't, didn't have it all.
Yeah.
It was so special. It was,
and I really connected with those kids, especially singing Out There, because I felt like I'm going to be their voice right now when I sing this song, because all they want is a day to live a normal life out there.
Yeah.
So powerful. And we have so many pictures of so many fans. I'd sent you one, Tammy, of one gal that, her mom brought her every year for the show. And I'm still friends with her and her mother now. I get a birthday card and I get a Christmas card every year. So we've made some amazing relationships, like Andrea shared with some of the relationships she made too.
And
I don't think I got that copy. I'm sorry. I would have put it in.
Oh, no,
so
that's
I
okay.
apologize.
you two were very lucky because you played characters that people wanted to meet you. And characters that people wanted to meet me, except Tammy Tuckey.
We loved you. We talked about you all the time.
And you know what? My biggest regret is I didn't keep my character going out there. I talked like Rob when I went out there.
That was because my mom was like, "Are you a dancer? Tell me more about being an actor." Because like I wanted to be on stage so much. So that was my mom always. She always had all those types of questions for cast members. So that was on her. We'll blame her.
I count the number of times on one hand when they wanted a guest on to meet a meet and greet, or when they wanted a Phoebus, well, one finger when they wanted a Phoebus meet and greet. I agree. When you meet those kids, the kids that want those interactions, there's nothing that will ever cut that from your memory.
Yeah.
Ever.
Nothing.
Somebody actually sent me a clip of some fans meeting some of the cast backstage. I don't know if this is all of you, but let's take a look here.
You guys did awesome. I don't take back up. I'll miss you too.
Oh, that's Laura. That is Laura right there.
I'm going to send you a video tape. You're going to see Quasi. No, I don't. You're going to see Shaw?
Oh my gosh, that is Laura. That's the one I just mentioned.
That's
there we go!
crazy.
Yay!
That was Laura.
That's
was Laura.
crazy.
Okafini. Yes.
Oh, I love it. There you go. Okay, well now we at least had footage. If we didn't have the photo, we had the footage.
I can't believe you had that footage of Laura. Yes.
Oh, I love it.
That's
there you
wonderful.
go. Okay, well now we at least had footage. If we didn't have
Oh no, it's a
photo,
repeat. It's me.
You know,
so can you tell me like a little bit about just the rehearsal process, because Robby, you were kind of with the show from the beginning, but
Yeah.
Robert and Laura, when you guys were put in, is it kind of like a put in rehearsal, because you really don't get the initial everybody's there, or how does that work?
No, it was a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
I want to say did it take a week? I don't even know if it took a whole week. I want to
Yeah.
say it took a handful of days, but it was very intense, super long hours for the entire cast and crew, like 10-hour days. I want to say, like, it was
Yeah.
incredibly intense. And obviously it was at night. So everyone in the show had done the show all day long, 2 to 5 shows, depending on your track. And then after that, we had put in rehearsals for the newbies, and we were there for, so obviously it wasn't 10 hours. I don't know, however many hours it was, 3, 4, 5 hours. It seemed endless. As you saw, I had bruises all over my body, but it was such a well-oiled machine. It was incredible. And it was just so well organized.
Yeah.
And I mean, I Robert, I'm sure you did too. I felt like, I got exactly enough personal attention I needed to, like, boom, 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 like figure out my track and know because you needed to be exactly where you needed to be, exactly when you needed to be there for costume changes and whatever was going, and that set changes. And it was such an intricate, incredible show. And the put in, I just remember it just being wowed by the thoroughness of the organization of it. It was incredible.
Yeah, and a real shout out to the staging assistants.
Oh.
They had to know all of these different tracks, Tammy. There were so many layers that they had to understand, and when it came to bringing new people into the cast, it was a challenge, and they rose to the occasion. They really did an outstanding job of taking what Fran and Janet's vision was with the choreography and the staging, and remembering it and making sure that vision stayed with every new cast member that came into the show. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Laura, I agree with everything you said as far as rehearsals went, but I grew up in a little town of 200 in the middle of Illinois. and I was a really overweight kid, and all I wanted to ever do was work for Disney. And I knew I couldn't do it like I was. So I lost weight and I started working. I learned to dance from Solid Gold on television. And I learned how to sing from Lawrence Welk.
Wow.
The Welk Show. I mean, there were no resources where I came from. And I auditioned for Disney, I don't know, 25 times, 30 times, maybe more. And finally, I had worked as a character, and then I left and did some other things, cruise ships in Opryland and other places. And Disney was coming through Nashville where I was living, and I went, but I took all of my other Disney stuff off my resume, and it was Russ Jordan. And when I sang, he gave me a piece from Beauty and the Beast, and he said, how fast can you move to Orlando? And I said, as fast as you want me to. And so I was supposed to do Beauty and the Beast. And then they called me on the phone. I auditioned over the phone for the cruise ship, for the cruise line. It was way too high for me, way too high apart. And then all of a sudden I got a contract for Hunchback. And I remember going through those auditions, and they were well-oiled machine, 100%. Yeah. But I got to a point where I was so nervous and so excited to be there. And you guys, all of you, I mean, and the ones that were before me and the ones that are coming after us on this podcast, I was so, you guys made me so nervous. And not because you didn't do anything, it was me. And Tom Fasana told me, he said, Robert, you better get your nerve together or you're not going to get approved to do this show.
Wow.
And I did. Somehow I did. And I don't know. It was something, but that was a big deal. That was like, you know, a lot of performers want to go on to do Broadway or want to do movies or want to do. All I wanted to do was work for Disney. That's all I wanted to do. And it was so intimidating when I got there. Anyway, okay, that's enough. Go on to the next thing. Here we go. Anyway.
Laura, you're muted.
Oh, you're muted. It's not me. I didn't do it. I think your volume, I don't know what happened. It's like gone now. Well, while you're looking at that, let's actually listen to Laura sing a little bit as Esmeralda. Here we go.
Wow.
Gorgeous.
Wow. Goosebumps.
Love. So good. We still can't hear you. Oh no. I'm not sure. Do you want to hop off and hop back in? Just click the same link if you want to try that. That might be it. Sometimes it's just hopping back and hopping back off. And while she's doing that, Robby, let's take a listen to you. Here we go.
Oh, okay. Oh. Wow.
Fantastic.
That was my sister and I. We were so excited. We got to hold the hands of Esmeralda. Lucky us.
Oh my gosh. Can you hear me? Am I back?
Yes.
Yep, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. I love that I met you when you were little. I just think that's the cutest thing. And I just love that we're friends now. And I can't believe it's been as long as it's been. It feels like yesterday.
I know. I was like, my dad's like, wait, you're as old as the movie? I'm like, yes. Whoops.
You know, it was something I was thinking about when you were talking to the last group. What made the show so unique and beautiful from a performer standpoint is I hadn't worked at Disney, doing different shows prior to this. It was the first show where a lot of the principal performers were buried in costumes, and all the character performers had these beautiful costumes. And it's just so funny that it was reversed. Of all the other shows that I'd ever been a part of, it was reversed. And I think we had a new understanding and respect for what they had done as character performers. And it just kind of, it was an interesting thing that happened, but such a great cast. And what was so neat is we had a company meeting every morning with a stage manager, and it wasn't just the performers. It was everyone. It was the costuming. It was the cosmetology. It was the technicians. And we really were a family. I mean, everybody was treated equally to know that they are making a difference, making this performance happen. It was not just all about the performers or all about one group or another. We were all one really tight family. We partied as a group too. It was not just the performers going out. We all did stuff together, which was something unusual.
To this day, I mean, it's really true. I mean, I was in so many shows and on so many tours and things, but this group remains like such a core part of my heart and my family. And it was everything. The holidays, I pulled out some pictures because I didn't get them to you in time. Oh wait, never mind. I don't have them. But I have like a funny picture, like, on Christmas morning, if we were working on Christmas, we all showed up in pajamas and we did presents and we, had potlucks and we went out together. We went out together all the time. We went to, what was the place? Was it Treasure Island? What was it called?
Yeah, at the time.
Pleasure Island. Yep.
Pleasure Island. We'd go out dancing. We had
Ale House.
A full life. It was incredible.
Yeah. And one of the things that we did all the time is because they were long days and we worked through the holidays, everybody brought in food. And it was a common thing. Whenever somebody new was coming into the cast, we'd everybody bring in a dish of food to share with everybody. And I want to show you, I did a cast cookbook over the years. Some of you didn't know this, but I collected all of the recipes over the run of the show, and then put the recipe in the book and put a little story with it too, if there was a story behind the recipe. And I'm going to make a bunch of copies. And when I see some of you in the future, I'll have one for you. I'll send you one, Tammy.
Please, because I'm just learning how to cook, and I would love to have some new recipes. This would be awesome.
You don't know how to cook.
I know, right? I need to get with it. I can bake. I can do cookies, snickerdoodles.
She can sing up a storm, but she doesn't know how to cook.
Baking's way harder than cooking. Oh my God.
I know, I'm that person, but you guys were very lucky. It was so interesting. Right as I was hitting 21, Pleasure Island closed, and I had heard all the stories about Pleasure Island and all the dance halls, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, "I wanted to experience what you guys got to do," So I was like, "Yes, finally," because they really don't have anything now. Just the dance hall at Boardwalk. So, you had the perfect time to do it and go out and have a great time.
I wanted so great. Can I just step in and just say one of the best experiences with the three of you or the two of you, when we did the benefit show for another cast member, and we did, what was the name of the song? It was Out There. No, it wasn't Out There.
Somewhere.
Somewhere.
I'm sorry, Someday.
Someday.
Yes.
That was so beautiful. I still have that on a tape somewhere. I don't know where.
That was pictures from that.
Well, it was for something that didn't go so well in the end, but it was a benefit for a cast member that got hurt in a car accident. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And we did, so the whole cast came together. I think Krista put it together,
Yeah.
I think.
And Tom Pizzana kind of staged it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we each took a little line through the show, and it was the whole Hunchback cast, and it was so beautiful. It's just a beautiful recording if anyone ever has it to share with Tammy.
That's not the thing with Haley. That's not the thing with Haley Mills. Like there was another thing.
No.
I think what
no,
Robert's talking about.
No, I'm clear. Now I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't recall what it was for. You might be right, Robert, that was to help somebody out, but all the different shows at the studios at the time presented a musical number.
Yes.
And we were the finale, and we did Someday.
Someday.
I'm just getting emotional thinking about it. It was so moving.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
It was so beautiful to have so many of our cast members who played the Romany in the show, but then they got to step up and take the mic and have solo lines.
Yeah, it wasn't the principal characters. It was some of the Romany and everybody that took a solo line.
Yeah.
And you know what? Someone said it in the last episode. There is such a fine line between the Romany characters or the characters and the talent at Disney. And when they're all so talented, everyone is so talented.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
So talented. I remember Gene Basterock finally getting to play Quasi.
Yes.
It was so long overdue.
And that was another great thing about this show that I'd never experienced before, where they took some of the choral members and moved them and gave them an opportunity to do the roles, the principal roles.
Michaud-Iannuzzi. Heather Delmotte.
Cynthia.
She got to play.
Yes, Laverne. Yeah.
Laverne.
Yeah.
She was amazing. She's amazing at everything.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming to the end of our time together, but I'm so grateful. Thank you guys for always entertaining my sister and I for years on the VHS tape.
Of course.
First
We
of all,
love you, Tammy.
and
Love
it's such a joy. So before we let's do our Kodak moment. So look at the camera on the count of three. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, smile. And then can you guys give me one word that sums up your experience on Hunchback? And Robert, why don't you start?
Okay. Well, it's 2 words, life-changing for me. Yeah.
For me, it'd be momentous.
I would say priceless. Truly
love it.
priceless. Oh,
Thank
we
you
love
guys
you,
so
Tammy.
much. Oh, I love you too. I hope I get to see all of you again in the future in person.
I hope to see everyone in
Robbie.
August.
Yes. We're
Hey,
counting on it.
Robbie, can't wait for the cookbook.
Okay.
Yeah. If you produce it, I'll buy a copy. I
Okay.
promise.
Oh no, I'm just giving them away. And if you want to add something in it, there'll still be time.
I just made my mom's banana bread today. I'll give you that recipe.
Okay, perfect.
There you go.
Ooh.
We know
Even
Laura
better.
won't have anything with chocolate, so if she
No.
submits a recipe, she's allergic to chocolate.
Oh no. Oh my
Poor
goodness.
thing.
I'm allergic to everything that's good. It's terrible, but whatever. Anyway, I love seeing you
Thank
all
you.
so much. I hope that you can all be there in August for that, and I love you so much. And
Love all of you as well. Thank you so much, Tammy. This has been wonderful.
Thank you, Tammy.
you
My
so much.
pleasure. My pleasure. And while we're waiting for the next group, we're going to watch a little bit of Wishing and Hoping. The cast put together a little Riddler shot by shot of the opening of my best friend's wedding. It's great. Here you go.
Wishing and hoping and thinking and praying, planning and dreaming each night of his charms that won't get you into his arms. So if you're looking to find love that you can share Show him that you care just for him. Do the things that he likes to do. Wear your hair just for him. 'Cause you won't get him thinking and praying, wishing and hoping, just wishing and hoping and thinking and praying, planning and dreaming. His kisses will start that won't get you into his heart. So if you're thinking of how great true love is, all you gotta do is hold him and kiss him and squeeze him and love him. Just do it, and after you do, you will be his. Show him that you care just for him. Do the things that he likes to do. Wear your hair just for him. 'Cause you won't get him thinking and praying, wishing and hoping, just wishing and hoping and thinking and praying, planning and dreaming. His kisses will start that won't get you into his heart. So if you're thinking of how great true love is, all you gotta do is hold him and kiss him and squeeze him and love him. Just do it, and after you do, you will be his. You will be his. You will be his.
Oh, I love it. I'm sorry the volume's a little low on it, but I remember seeing this for the first time like years ago, and I just could not stop laughing. It's so joyous. I love it that they put it together, and you have to see the comparison. It's perfectly timed and everything with the original. So here's our next group. Here they come. We've got David and Jeni and Amy. How are you guys?
Hi.
Hey.
Good. Hi. Oh my gosh, Amy Blake. Hi. David Cohen.
Jeni, how are you?
Good. Oh my gosh.
I see David all the time on Facebook, so I haven't seen you in forever.
I know. Hi. Oh, sorry. That was my dog.
He's like, I want to be involved too. Where is everybody?
I was like, I can leave him out because he's been so quiet. So.
Oh, whoops. It's okay. Don't worry about it all. I'm so glad you're here, and we have a couple other people. I know Mark Taylor is supposed to be on here too because he sent me some clips. So
Daddy, come on, Daddy, get
Come
on.
So guys, why don't you tell us a little bit about the roles you got to play during your run at Hunchback? So David, why don't you start us off?
Okay, I was one of the opening cast. I played 4 different Romani tracks. I learned how to walk on stilts. I learned how to walk on my hands during Hunchback. It was an amazing experience.
Oh wow, I would have been scared, especially the stilts. Oh no.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What about you, Amy?
I am
Amy.
actually one of the original. Am I muted? I'm good.
I can hear you.
Okay, sorry. I'm one of the original Esmeraldas. I was there for about 1.5 years.
What Amy's trying to say is,
we can hear her. I think he can't hear us.
Oh no! Strangely enough, I did actually learn to walk on stilts too, but not for the show. That was for something different, courtesy of Blaine. He taught me how.
That's awesome.
Oh, and here comes Mark. There he is. And Michelle's trying to join in.
Daddy!
hello.
How are you, Mark?
I'm good. How you doing? How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
glad you're on board. Why don't we go to Jeni, and then Mark, you could tell us who you played in the show. So Jeni, go ahead.
Okay.
I was one of the Romani in that ensemble, eventually learning all 4 tracks. And it was amazing.
And then Mark, go ahead.
I was the original Phoebus. I had just finished Pocahontas and joined with Michael in another role, which was fun.
Well, I'm so glad you guys are here. Thanks for hopping on. I know Michelle's trying to jump in. Michelle, it looks like your camera is not working, so you might want to exit and then re-enter. Maybe it might work. So we want you to join us too. But how is it? I'm so glad you guys are on the chat right now, because I've seen many pictures of all of you in all of your roles and video clips. So let's talk about, just how many shows a day was the typical day, like one of the busiest days, maybe a Saturday? How many shows would you be going through, just to give our audience a perspective of, how many 35-minute shows you're fitting in for that day?
There were weren't there 5 shows?
Yeah.
Maybe some days there were more.
Yeah.
But if you were lucky, you would have at least in the ensemble, we would potentially have a swing that would kind of swing you out one of your shows so that you could kind of have a little extra downtime. Yeah.
We had I know for the principals, since the principals were double cast, we would have
Yeah, I think she's right. Yeah, I think there was 5.
Yeah.
And usually we would do all 5 or maybe 4, and like Jeni was saying, someone would swing you out from for one show.
Yeah, we'd have 2 days a week that we did all 5 shows. There were some times in there, I was remembering actually on the chat, where we would have an extended schedule for holidays, and then I think we had as many as 7 during one day. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I remember that during the holidays, because that was usually, I just remember during Christmas time, sometimes that was the only time I remember us ever really doing night shows. And those were always really pretty. Those were my favorite, because it would just be completely dark. I don't know. It was really just a. Sorry.
We actually started when we first opened. I think we started in the evening, which was really cool because, and I think we may have switched a couple times, and we switched with Beauty and the Beast. But it was really cool to see because of the pyrotechnics when Quasi would tip over the cauldron. There were some fun things that showed up at night that unfortunately got a little bit lost during the day. So we always loved night shows.
Yeah.
We have somebody in the chat, 3 shows, lunch, and then 2 shows. So I'm sure lunch was a very festive time. You're going to get our energy back.
Yeah.
Oh, I love. So I hear myself again, like a little repeat. David, do you have the video playing in the background too?
Yeah, I'm having trouble hearing Mark and Amy, so I was trying to see if I could switch to my phone, but.
Oh, okay. No, it's okay. I'm going to mute you while you're figuring that out, just so we don't have a reverb going on. But I do have some pictures that you guys were sending in. So let's take a look at what we have so far.
Oh my gosh. Is that JB? Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm trying to remember. Were these your shots, Jeni's, or they might be Michelle's
no,
photos?
No, I think those are Michelle's, because that's definitely Michelle there. But that looks like JB, one of our stage managers, in there in the middle with all of us. Oh.
You girls are so fabulous.
Love it.
And then here's some more shots. It looks like you're doing egg dye, right?
Yeah, egg coloring on Easter. We all spent many holidays together for sure.
Yes. Well, that was when the extended show schedules, the first one that we did, it was actually over Thanksgiving, because we actually, the whole cast, everybody pitched in. I think it ended up being like $1.50 each to buy a grill for the patio at the stage. And
I forgot about that.
Yeah, Mark Burton went and got a couple turkeys, and he cooked them during the break, which was wonderful. Everybody brought, it was a big potluck. Everybody brought food, and it was wonderful until we realized during our show break we all ate turkey, and it was so hard to get through the remainder of the day.
Oh no.
Yeah, we
I think
ended
that's
up
Heather
having
there on the photo on the right. Heather's on the far left because we've talked about Heather. She's coming on soon. So I love I love you guys are having so much fun.
We had so many great cookouts out there. We had the way the stage was set up, we had the perfect patio area where we could sit outside. It was in between, like we had like a trailer that was our dressing area, and then you would cross over and then you would be backstage. But we had this open area, and we had so many great like just cookouts. I mean, that not even for a special occasion, we would just have it. It was great.
Oh,
look at these pictures. Oh,
the color, guys, the color. You guys look so, just the color of your costumes was so extravagant and beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I love these shots.
That's one of those shots that would come from what was his name? I think
David.
David, yeah. Some of the best pictures I have from the show came from him.
And he passed away, I think, a couple years ago. But he would take pictures of all these Disney shows. And I heard somebody has his collection, so I'm trying to see if we can maybe find it. And because it's not just the Hunchback show, it's so many others, and it's so hard to find beautiful pieces like this. You guys look fabulous in these shots.
So much fun.
And these are your photos, right, Jeni? I think
some of those are. Oh my gosh, there's that Christmas thing we did that one time.
So what's the story behind that one?
I don't know if does anybody remember the whole story with that? I just remember at the costume fitting dying because of what they initially wanted the guys to. I don't know. There was something that happened. I can't remember what it was, but I have nothing but fond memories of whatever happened because I have a photo somewhere of all of us just dying. But does anybody know what that was?
Nope.
This was after my time. Mark, was that a note you don't actually remember, or note you don't want to say?
No, I don't remember. You know what I do remember is when that reporter was dressed as a gypsy and was put in our show.
Wait, what?
And we all had to act like that was normal.
Wait, what do you mean? Like, was there for one of the?
I remember that.
Was that a reporter for a magazine or for a?
No, it was for TV. It was for TV. She was a TV reporter, and for some reason, we're like, okay, we'll put you in the show. And she dressed like a gypsy, and we were all like, we just act like she's part of the show. Okay.
There's always so much movement on stage. How did that work? This is after me. I don't remember that.
She was dressed like one of us.
Krista says it was for the Regis and Kathy Lee show.
Okay. Yeah.
We need to find footage of that. I will now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Good Lord. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Okay, this is what you can explain, Mark. Go ahead. What is this?
That's the spoof show.
That's Matt Goodpaster.
Yeah, as Pocahontas. Because Mike,
I think it was just backstage doing funny stuff backstage.
Michael and I shared the same role in 2 shows back to back. So we decided we should do something spoofing that. So he was Phoebus, I was John Smith, and Michael had Esmeralda, which was Madison, and then I had Matt Goodpaster as Pocahontas. And we did a whole scene.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I didn't know. Oh, and it looks like David's back. I'm bringing you back in, David. There you are.
Okay. Sorry, I'm out of here.
No,
I think it worked,
fine.
Fred. Give me 1 second. Sorry.
Well, let's take a look a little bit at the parody itself.
Yeah, so we had a good time. Michael and I just couldn't stop laughing in rehearsal for this because we had such a good time. And I just, it was weird. What was weird about when I first did Pocahontas, when you're in a show, typically you are when you get cast in like a role, you're usually the only one in like a lead role. For the first time, Pocahontas, I had met this guy who looked like me, and we shared a role, and it was very odd. But I couldn't have shared with a better person. I loved Michael. He was a great guy, and we called each other brothers because that's what we felt like, and it was great to work with him in 2 shows.
Yeah. So just to,
so we had a good time with that spoof show.
Yeah. So just to preface this for the audience who doesn't know, the Spirit of Pocahontas show was before the Hunchback show at the same stage, but the Hunchback show got the roof, right? So this parody that you're about to see is kind of making fun of Pocahontas being thrown out of off the stage. And then the scene where Esmeralda and Phoebus always meet in the Hunchback show, it's now Phoebus and John Smith get to meet each other. So here's a little clip from that parody show.
Okay, boys, let's see what we got now. Are you ready? Show me the ugliest face here on property. Here we go.
Miss Piggy's
Now that's a what? Sorry, pretty boy, you're in the rough. Whippy, whippy, whippy. Back to the toy box for you. Let's see it. What? Come on, man. We didn't come all this way just to look at it. All of my lungs, I have searched for a place oh, wow, much challenging venue I couldn't find. You! Reese! This is how we say hello. I forgot to shave this morning. Let me down for it. Oh, easy. All right, let's just calm down. Give me a chance to apologize. For what? No! No! It's how we say hello. Are you always this charming, or am I just lucky? Oh, I'm John Smith. Who are you? Phoebus. It means sun god. You only have room. You only have room in this book for one real blonde. Wild green savages all over the world. Savage. Savage, it's a word, a term for people who are uncivilized. All right, pretty boy, let's go. You know, I heard you fight almost as well as a man. Funny, I was going to say the same thing about you. You dirty motherfucker. We're in a church. That is my line. And I will not allow it. Ah? Okay, just kidding. Sit down, be friends. Hey.
Oh my gosh, I forgot all about that. Oh, that was
who was playing Pocahontas again? Because that just
Matt
climbing across the way.
Oh, Matt Goodpaster.
Matt Goodpaster. Yeah. And that was Blaine Gantos in the Miss Piggy suit playing Esmeralda.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, slayed it. He did that whole Esmeralda dance and
Now, why can I hear Tom?
He did the pole swing in the Miss Piggy suit.
Yeah, it was amazing.
So these parody shows would be at the end of every year, or
I don't think they were every year, but I mean, we would get one in whenever we could. So.
Yeah, we did a couple of them. We did the one for Fran. We did the Topsy Turvy Day. There were some
Tammy,
fun
I
ones.
can't hear you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah.
I can't hear Tammy.
Oh.
That's weird. I hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah.
But I don't hear Tammy.
Jeni, tell him to
That's
leave
weird.
and come back.
Mark, leave and come back.
Okay, I'll leave and come back.
This is like a Three Stooges.
Okay.
Oh, my Lord.
Where you got the group of
But this would be a typical day backstage for us.
Yes. Yes. We also had, I don't know if you guys remember the cargo parade that
So catch me up because I missed like half of what Amy and Mark said earlier.
Which part? Well, the Pargo parade, I remember because I was there for a year and a half. So I was there for that spoof show, but I was sitting in the audience. I wasn't actually in it. but I remember we did a Pargo parade. I think might have been for Halloween. I might be wrong about
Still
that.
can't hear
but
Amy. I heard March from it there, but I didn't
sounds
hear Amy.
right.
Yeah, apparently, and I'm sorry, I'm a little shaky on the details. Apparently, there was one group that used to win all the time, and we came out and we had like we did a hip hop dance, but we started in the we used the robes that the crew would use when they were changing scenery. So we come out, and it was that very beginning when the Romani are walking onto stage. It was that section of the music right at the beginning, and then the bells rang. Everybody takes the robe off, and we launch into this hip hop dance. We were so proud of that, and we won the Pargo parade that year.
Yeah,
we always had some fun things happening. Yeah.
Mark,
now
can you hear me now?
I can now, yeah.
Yay! But David can't hear Amy, so
I can't hear Amy, and I can't hear Jeni now.
Wow.
My phone sucks. I'm gonna log back in. I'll be right back.
So let's talk about the most important character of the show, Phoebus's hair.
Oh yeah.
How is this maintained?
Mark, your hair had a life of its own.
Yeah, well, I had my own hair. It was the first big deal for Pocahontas where we were allowed to have long hair and keep our hair. So I had my long hair from John Smith, and they just said, well, it's a little shorter for Phoebus, but we'll let you keep your hair. So they would tease the crap out of it, and then that is my hair. The only thing that was different was the goatee was fake, but the hair was real.
Were you the only Phoebus that had your own hair? Everybody else had the wig?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Lord have mercy. Well, I love
My
it.
hair is not
It
real
looks
in that
fabulous.
Thanks. I'm lucky I'm not bald today after all the teasing that was done on.
Oh. Well, let's take a look. I wanted to do a quick video capture of like a walkthrough of the actual stage. I was sent this footage, so it's a little sped up, but that's okay.
Oh.
It's just to show the backstage and how you guys would enter, come through, and out. So there's no audio with this. So if you guys want to kind of walk us through or point out anything while we watch this, that's great. So here we go. Let's give it a shot.
Ooh, darkness. Dark. Very dark. Oh,
nice.
That's the walking onto the ramp there. That's
yeah.
Going right out to the audience.
And a step.
Yeah.
That stage was basically a jungle gym. Like
it was.
Yeah.
It was lethal. There was a lot of bruising
in the middle of the show down those stairs, and it hurt.
Ooh.
And that's
well, I landed. I don't know if you can tell the fence, the stair rail. The posts are square, so when I fell, and I was wearing knee pads under my costume, so I didn't hurt my knees, but one of the fence posts caught me like right in the middle of the sternum, but kept me from going out into the audience because the audience is right there.
Yeah.
But man, I swear the next day I had to pick up the floor standing candelabra for the fight scene with Phoebus, and I never thought about how the muscles are attached to the bone right in the middle of your chest until that day.
Well, my thing was when we had to play a monk. I was still in my Phoebus outfit, but I couldn't be Phoebus, so they put this monk robe on with this hood, and I had to carry Esmeralda downstairs and then place her onto the edge of the stage. And sometimes that wasn't easy because you can't see well.
Yeah,
you can't see well with the monk robe.
And Esmeralda was supposed to be unconscious at that point, so she was no help.
Yeah, she can't help.
Yeah, no
Just dead weight.
Yes.
And I think
and
later
when that
on,
runway was wet, it was lethal.
And I think some clips I saw later on, Phoebus would just come out in his outfit and not even have a monk outfit on. They would just lay her on the stage because I've seen that
really?
later on.
Oh,
that may be because
I have
of
two
me.
copies of it.
Wow.
When Tim was playing,
wow,
his robe got caught in my jewelry one time, and he could not get off stage because of it. So I don't know. I may be the cause of that.
Oh no!
He's in there cursing under his breath.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
Such a troublemaker.
So tell me a little bit about when it was, what was your favorite celebrity to see come backstage or see react to the show? Because I'm sure all of you had seen a couple of them.
Oh my gosh.
I think for me it was Alan Menken when he came. That was amazing. Yeah, because that's his work, and we put being in the opening cast. I know that Andrea touched on this in the first sequence, but the very beginning of it, when we started putting it together, I mean, we were seeing that animated film unfinished and handed a partial script. Basically, it was not the entire script. It was just, this is a suggestion of what we want you to say. And we were like, I think we can pull more from it. So we spent a lot of time with that unfinished animated script. And I mean, by the time we saw the whole thing finished, we had pulled as much dialogue into it as we could. Of course, being tied to a track, we were limited to that, to a shorter time. But we had everything. We went over and over and over that timing to have it hit right with that music, and you get that swell on the music right when it's supposed to be. And so then to have Alan Menken come and see, it's, even though, I mean, it's an abbreviated version of his work, but it's still his work, and for me, that was just amazing.
Yeah. I think for me was Kevin Kline, because he voiced Phoebus. Now he's watching me do Phoebus and sitting like really close to the stage. And I watched him smiling as we were going through the show. So that was cool. Having him
there he is.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun.
You guys look just alike. You look just alike.
It's the hair.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
What did he say? Did he say anything to you? Did he? Anything specific because you were Phoebus? Or
he said, "Oh, very nice job, very nice job. I really enjoyed it." So, okay. And then the only other thing that was wacky was Vanessa Williams had come to see Pocahontas with Alan Menken, and I met her during Pocahontas. Then she came back and saw Hunchback, and she comes backstage. She goes to me, "Do you do all the roles? You're." I said, "Yeah, I'm in every show."
Oh Lord,
that's great.
You are, well, at least where are the blonde Disney men now? There's like none. Come on,
they
now.
killed. They killed. I know. They killed them.
Well, I should say Kristoff. Kristoff is now the new Disney blonde.
That's true.
Guy,
yeah,
so.
Kristoff's blonde. Yeah.
You can make a comeback now.
That's right. Yeah. Yay! At 78. Yay!
Grandpa Phoebus.
Oh my Lord. Mark, we've been hearing so many stories about everybody calling you Daddy. So what's probably, like, if anybody were to say, have you ever known who Daddy was at Disney World? What would be the story that everybody would launch into about you? If you cannot get too inappropriate, I don't know what you want to do.
Well, actually, I think it served as, it's almost like another character. So, like, if Daddy wants to do something or say something, that's fine and harmless. If I do it as Mark, they go, "Oh, that's offensive." So, Daddy became the thing I could use. And then we would have dance hall with Daddy, which was fun.
Yeah.
We would organize once a month. I love that. So we would all get dressed up and go to the dance hall.
Yeah, those were great.
And we had fun doing that. Yeah, Daddy would organize events.
Yes.
And then sometimes he would work in conjunction with Mommy, which was Andrea.
The techs knew to keep your mic off though backstage because it was a whole sing along between scenes.
But we had a good time.
Yeah.
Oh. So what would happen? So what?
It was so. The Daddy became so well known that my costumes didn't say Mark; they would say Daddy.
They said Daddy inside it, yes.
Yeah, and people would call the green room and ask for Mark. They go, "Who?" They say, "Oh, Daddy." Yeah. So yeah, Daddy was prevalent.
Daddy explaining Daddy is the end all be all. Yeah. Somebody interested.
Yeah.
So you're saying that sometimes the mics were on while you were backstage. Is that what would happen?
I think they learned pretty quickly to turn them off when he was backstage because he would break out in the song, dance, spanking.
But I think what was. We're going to tell this story. I was backstage. But the thing was, it didn't go out to the audience. It went to the in-ear monitors that the people had on stage. They were doing a very intimate scene, Quasimodo and Esmeralda. And I think it was at the point where Heather, Delmotte, and I were backstage. And she had her hat out. And I said, "Oh, are you taking tips? Tips for..." And I just said, "Tips for tits. Tips for tits." Well, that came out into their in-ears, not to the audience. Well, they're trying to do a scene.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So you got word about it at the end of the show by the tech team. They came to say, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your mic is on. Oh.
Oh my gosh. There were so many things like that where like sometimes we would do like just amongst ourselves a themed show where I mean, I don't know. Do you remember what any of them were? But like we would
do like a split leaf show or something. Everybody had to work in a split leaf.
Where you had to so whatever the theme was, you had to work it into the show at some point.
Yeah.
And
but the trick was you had to do it in such a way that it wasn't immediately obvious.
Yeah, obvious.
It was just for our own enjoyment.
Us.
You know,
on the same show,
you know who was
5 days a week. You got to keep it, entertaining, right?
Yeah. I remember,
you know who was really good at
the Braveheart show? Yeah.
John Graham was really good at that. John Graham as Frollo, because he would do like the dead arm show where his arms were dead.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So we were doing things like that, and but then even like times where like there was one of the ensemble female tracks, I think it was for the one that got to be Dead Mrs. Moto, Quasi's mom, that for low kicks. So that was that was honestly one of my favorites, because each time I would do it, I would try to slide closer and closer to the edge of the stage, to the point where like my whole upper body was like hanging off. And it was just a goal I had. How far could I go? But then the like Tom Fazzana would have to come and like pick my head up, and he would always like roll my head right into him. But then he would, while he was talking, he would pull my eyelashes, and so I had like false eyelashes on, but he would like pull them so that it would make that like pucker sound, and then I'm like supposed to be dead, but I'm like dying laughing. Just things like that.
Do y'all remember the time that Tom said he sent us all notes that said don't?
Yeah, the kissing scene, that was always interesting with the different Esmeraldas, because sometimes. When we're in an intimate moment.
It's be nice.
I
mean,
they would,
Daddy.
There you go.
Sometimes
David, what did you say? You said something about Tom?
Yeah, there was one time where Tom literally went up to every single cast member and gave us a note that said, "Don't upstage me on stage." And in that show, you never saw Tom the entire show, because we all just kept running over in front of him. It was awesome. It was a good time.
Oh man. Oh God. This has been so much fun to talk to you guys. I'm sure there are more daddy stories to come out in the future, but we shall have to wait. But let's go ahead. Let's all look at the camera. We're on a count of 3. We're gonna do our Kodak moment. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Smile. Awesome. And then let's start with Jeni. If you guys can give me one word to summarize your Hunchback experience. Why don't you get started?
One word. Gosh, that show was everything. It was everything.
Amy?
Yeah. Fulfilling.
David?
Unforgettable.
And finally, Daddy.
I would say, actually, I would say love, because it was all about love. The execution of the show and how we loved each other was love. It's love.
100%. Well, thank you guys for being on the show. I really appreciate it. It's so nice to meet all of you. Thank you for always rocking and rolling on stage. We love watching all of you. So I appreciate it. And, and let's take a look at, while we're switching our groups, let's take a look at Easter Sunday backstage.
I don't know if I should stand like that or what.
Why?
I'm gonna love it. We're standing by the table. Fareed, here we go. Superman. Super good. You want to see what it's like to fall when you have a video camera going? Hi, Tammy's in love. I hear the cottonwood.
Talking about. What is this for? Oh, I was going to do it.
Good Easter. Good day. Thanks, Chris. You guys have fun. Definitely. Rich, good job over there, Rich. Peace, dude. Fun, Doogie.
You said ham and cheese.
Oh, that'll be an onion. It's pretty clear.
Well, we went through and we said the improvement was just radical.
I got to collect from you too. Breakfast.
I'm telling you.
Did you pay?
I got.
Happy Easter. Bak.
I'm being watched on Easter Sunday.
Boxes are all pipes. So whatever size you want, go for it. Difficult. Just getting people ready.
Okay, eat up. Get me the first ones in line for a change.
I'll cut.
Hurry up, cut this cake. You need to turn it around.
Turn it around so Tammy can see it. Is that ice cream?
Yeah, you go, Tom.
Thank you.
Come here, Eileen. Let me push you down.
Tom Tony.
Who? Now go to Sharon.
Now go to Sharon.
You don't even look like Sharon. Ooh, bigger pieces?
Yeah.
I have to buy them. Give me your tape.
Give me the map. Oh, damn. Customers.
Have another fork, please. It's mine.
Out of my way!
I gotta bring it.
Good. I like it a lot. Ooh.
It looks less like a wig being longer.
Yes, it
Tape
does.
is rolling. Tape
These
is
look like
rolling.
Oh, I love Phoebus looking at himself in the mirror. He looks so fabulous. Alrighty, let's welcome our next crew. Here they come. We've got Mark, we've got Heather, we've got Michelle, Jim, and Krista.
There we are.
Oh my God. Hi.
It is a reunion.
Howdy, everybody.
Oh my God.
There really is.
Oh, I
our
love your jacket.
I love
Oh
it.
my God. I got that.
They'll have
People are like, you
mine.
should sell that. I'm like, oh no, I am not selling that sucker.
No joke. I kind of want to sell mine. I can use the money. My part-time job is donating blood and collecting shopping carts in the Aldi parking lot for extra money.
Extra quarter.
Laugh
Smart
out
move.
loud. I'm not
I
kidding.
live it. Live.
Well,
Oh,
why don't we
God.
go down the line? Mark, why don't you start? Tell us a little bit about what roles you played in the show, and then we'll pass it along.
Mark Ralston, I played Phoebus from 97 till probably about 2001 subbing. So yeah, I played Phoebus.
Heather, you want to go next?
Okay. I was a romantic character. I did all the girl tracks. I did a boy track that I got to fight with a sword, and I subbed Laverne.
Nice.
Thanks to Krista teaching me and believing in me and being like, "You're doing a good job," but I'm like, "I want to vomit." I literally the day that I had to go in and do like my real life show as Laverne, like I had so much nervous energy. I think I like walked like 3 miles before I had to go into work. And you know how like hot it was at the stage all the time. So doing any kind of physical activity beforehand was stupid.
Yeah.
But she was great.
What about you, Krista?
I was Laverne. I was Laverne from 98 till through the show closed. And I got to teach a lot of the Lavernes. I got to teach Heather, and it was awesome. Awesome. It was a fun role to do.
And I was brought on as Phoebus, and then I got to learn Victor and Frollo, and I got to be a fight captain. So it was we had so much fun doing all the stuff. All the stuff.
Hi,
and finally, Michelle.
Hi. Yes, I played Esmeralda. I want to say it was maybe beginning 99 to 2002, maybe, I think, before I went over to Tarzan. And then I was able to train a couple of Esmeraldas as well.
Love it. And here's one of the shots of you as Esmeralda, and there's the card. I love the shot you took where it's adorable. Look at you.
That was a great time. The makeup was fun.
Yeah. Now, I heard the rumor that if you were an Esmeralda, it was required that you had to do the split, a part of the Esmeralda dance. Is that true?
That's true. Yes. If you were injured, it ended up being a half split, but I remember, learning the show. Yeah, I pulled my hamstring actually before my first show. Yeah. So it started as a half split, then went back into the full split. Yeah, but it was, the pirouettes, cartwheel into a split, and you had to get the timing.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, that whole thing is just crazy. And then you had to rush off and do the costume change right out of the red dress into the other dress. How did you do it with the hair?
Well, mind you don't realize that our wigs had the first piece, then the mic pack was, in your head with the donut, and then clipped on the rest of the hair. And then you had another pack on your back. So she was definitely weighted. Definitely a lot of neck strength.
So they were like pull away costumes. They weren't something you had to pull over your head because of the hair, right?
The costume, no. Like once we'd go back, it was just a quick costume change, down, up, into the other. Yep.
Perfect.
It was definitely
I hate costume changes.
Major quick change. Thank God there was a zipper.
So how did each of you get involved with the production? Sounds like Krista, you were there almost from the beginning, like the early years, and how did everybody get involved?
I had been wanting to come back to the company full time and had been auditioning. I was one of the first replacements. I wasn't in the original cast, but I replaced Colleen when she moved on to another show. And it was timing, and it was Russ Jordan giving me a shot, and the rest is history, as they say. I'm so grateful, so grateful. And somebody mentioned timing earlier. I think it was Michelle, about how everything had. When I think of the show, I just think everything was to a track, and your lines had to land right on this musical cue and that musical, or if not, you had to make, like, if somebody took extra time, okay, now I gotta say my lines really fast because we had to keep on time. I'm not just with the dances, but all the dialogue and everything.
It's so true.
Yeah, because no live band. That, as you said, it was canned. Which and musical terms, for those who don't know, it's just for pre-recorded music.
Yeah, you forget your line, you got to say something to fill the space.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
Mark, you sent over a couple of photos. Can you talk about some of these shots?
Oh, it's just funny to see the one is just our backstage of us all just hanging out. I know so many mentioned it before. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah,
many mentioned it before that just the camaraderie of being backstage and everybody hanging out, like this really huge family that's all back there. I got started it was shocking because to me, so I worked for Opryland Entertainment, I worked for Busch Gardens and things like that. And then I came over to Disney, auditioned, and then I got into a read. And next thing you know, they had me read with Esmeralda. And weeks go by, and all of a sudden I get a call to be able to come in and audition as Phoebus. And as I go there and I'm now get to have this role as Phoebus, I'm just blown away by everybody there. To me, it was like Broadway with Florida humidity. I mean, it was just so cool to be able to be a part of that. And I felt like, wow, I'm walking into something way different here on just another level. So it was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Love that. Jim, I cut you off. Go ahead. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
It's all good. I was going to talk about actually, because Michelle had mentioned her first show being working with a strained hamstring, and my first show, my first week, because earlier in one of the earlier segments, you guys talked about the rehearsal process, and when I got in, it was an intense week-long rehearsal process, and then of course the first week was called burn-in. And when you were doing your full 25 shows or your 35 shows or your 50 shows, I mean, you were doing every show a day for that entire week. And it was my very last show of the very first week, show number 25 of my burn-in after I'd done this, and kind of ties into what Krista was talking about with the track, is 25th show. I was there and I was waiting off stage. And you remember, Mark, the very first entrance that Phoebus had is, coming on to be introduced to Frollo. And all I could hear was Al Krulik out there saying, "Where is Captain Phoebus?" And I'm just standing there waiting off stage, just waiting to come in. And of course, my mic is up. And I was afraid that my very first week at Disney was going to be my last, because the word "fuck" echoed throughout the entire audience, because I was just waiting, and I was off stage and I forgot that my mic was on. So Al had to make up some lines, and the whole rest of the cast had to make the lines to keep clicking on with that track. But yeah, that was fun. That was a good time. Yeah, it was fun.
I'm sure Al absolutely loved that.
Oh yeah. Al had some words for me afterwards.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Al, I miss you. No joke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love working with Al.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Well, I never got to see you, Mark, because we were opposite.
I know, we were always opposite of one another. Yeah. Now, I will say though that all of us, I mean, I know so many of us that there were times when we were off. Maybe it wasn't our show, or we were coming in a little later, or we were off in the day. To tell you just how good this show was, it was so good that us as performers would go out, sit in the crowd, secretively try to be. You all know, you're down your heads, we did it. Yeah. We did it so many times because the show was just so good. We would watch it and we'd be mesmerized with the rest of the crowd just as well. So it was really cool experience to be a part of.
Yeah, I remember seeing it for the first time. So I had come in, I opened Animal Kingdom with the Pocahontas show. So, and when at that time, my Corcus took us to come see the show, and I was just blown away. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to, do this show. This is incredible. And then auditioned. And then, so that's when I started, and I started subbing in at first.
Yeah. My first time seeing the show too, it was magical. I was doing Superstar Television, another show at Hollywood Studios. And after my shift, I came and watched, and I was in the way back. And when all of the confetti fell and you were watching the show through the confetti, I'd never seen anything in person like that. And I thought, I have to be a part of this show. And I'm just so, I know, but the first time I saw it, I was like, I can't believe I get to be a part of this. Yeah. But it was magical, just magical.
It truly is. It was just, I mean, it was a 30-minute Broadway show. It was like incredible that, we had these productions, at Disney.
I agree. The first time I saw it, I was just starting my college program. And I remember we were sitting in the bleachers in the back. And I remember Erica Frank, who I later learned was Erica, the gypsy, so mesmerizing with her bright eyes and her mysterious hair. And they were just throwing so much drama and the whole like the fact that it entered at the back of the house and just grabbed everybody and then brought them in, we played everybody. And I mean, I'll never forget her face. And I didn't learn it. That must have been like the first summer that the show was open. And then I didn't learn it until about a year and a half later, thanks to all of the people leaving to go open Animal Kingdom, because I was like the second wave of like some gypsies coming in to replace people. So like Kevin Johnston and Jimmy Gagney, and I think Sonia, I can't remember who else was in my rehearsal group, but they had already learned one track. And then I remember it actually was January 6th on Topsy Turvy Day. I finished doing parade, and then my manager was like, hey, Hunchback, wants you to go there full time. But I loved just working in the park. And like, that was when you just worked within one park. And if you had skills, you could do parade, Beauty and the Beast, Voyage of the Little Mermaid, like all the stuff. So I'm like, I don't know if I just want to be like one place all the time. Those people over there seem kind of snooty. It's not. It's not that they were snooty. It's that they did not have anyone else to hang out with but each other, because if we were working, we were rehearsing, and then we would create our own fun, like dance all days with, you know what I'm saying? Like we were just, it's not that we were exclusive. We just were like this pod that traveled like the Peanuts gang and did stuff.
Well, and when we did a 5-show day and then we were in rehearsal till 10 or 11 at night, your stage is your family. For sure.
Yeah.
So true.
And when you saw that backstage, when you showed earlier, Tammy, there's some of the video of just backstage in those couches in that sitting area. You figure how just large this cast and crew was, that we, as they mentioned, just this huge family that's all just hanging out together, living daily life together, coming in and out. And it was really a cool experience to be able to share with everybody. I love that's a great picture.
And I thought there were like 100 people in the show the first time I watched it. You know what I mean? Like it never occurred to me that one person might do 3 different things. I'm like, my God, there's 100 people. Like, where are they coming from? What is happening? And then we learned it, and it was just amazing. I mean, and I got so sucked in, like. And backing up to, I think, was it you, Jim, or Mark, who said that it truly was magical to go out there on your swing in your street clothes, or go sit in the tech booth and hide in the back and watch the show, because it really reinvigorated you into like knowing what a fucking awesome show that is, and how lucky we were to do it. Like, and I remember sitting like in the VIP section and watching it and thinking, these people don't know how every piece on this stage is about to be moved or come to life. Like every, what do you call them? The spinets or the spires or whatever they, the things on the wheels, and it was magic.
It was.
It really was.
Magic, for sure.
Yeah, you'd never get tired seeing it. We'd love to just go out and watch it. It was like watching it the first time every time.
Now, Jim, as fight captain, so this is another thing. If you haven't done theater, sometimes you have to do fight call before a show, just to run through something that may be dangerous if it's not run through properly. So what type of fight calls did you have? Because there were several different things happening in the show, with the sword, with the rope. How many things did you have to get through for fight call, if you did have any?
I'll be honest, I don't think we did a whole, because we were all, as long as the same people were working together, which we did most of the time, I don't recall doing fight calls in the morning. I recalled we certainly, the new folks that were coming on, and if anything got messy or sloppy, then we had to go revisit. But we had such a crew of a solid crew that was there, 80-90% of the shows, and then the folks that came in. I guess I'll be honest with you, I don't remember doing specific fight calls other than for new actors coming in. But but it was what I loved so particularly, and this was part of the magic too, is that everything on stage nothing was fake. Everything was real. The swords were real. They had some heft to them, some weight to them. We actually made physical contact. We, the things that we did, that Robby was talking about swinging the bell, and that's, that required legitimate effort. and things. So nothing was fakey fake on stage. It was it wasn't theatrical. We were living in that world, which I think
that couch that Heather and I had to wear was real. That couch you had to wear as Victor was real.
That's real. Yeah.
That's what the gargoyles called our costumes. We called them couches because that's what they felt like in a 120-degree stage.
Oh my God. What?
And it could get to that, right? Yeah.
What?
Every summer.
It could get to that hot.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Mike.
I mean, I remember going on stage just wringing out we had to wring out the t-shirts and just it was. Oof.
But the thing is, we never sweat any pounds off because we had food days all the time. Like,
I loved it. You just showed it that last
cereal
video.
Saturdays.
Everything. Like my corset would get so tight, I would want to die. You know what I'm saying?
We had cookouts, right?
Yeah.
We just had every kind of celebration, every kind of holiday. People
made up
celebrate their
holidays.
holiday.
Andy Thatcher's. This is Andy Thatcher's cookies. I dug this out.
You're giving away his recipe.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know that this made it into the cookbook. So, Robby, I might have to give you this on behalf of Andy. So
there you go. You know, there's a book out there too, and somebody's got it. The book where we had, because this is old school. We had the book of pictures of all the people that would come out to the show, celebrities, nonstop, all of this stuff, and we had it there in the green room with us. And somebody's got it in a Disney archive somewhere. Hopefully, they're not selling it like they did the Quasi card. But anyway.
Were either of you guys at the Demi and Bruce Willis show at all, or was that Amy? I'm trying to remember who was there.
I was there for that. I just remember Bruce Willis and Demi Moore and their kids coming, and we met them backstage, and the cast all got back there, and we took several photos with Bruce. He was kind of hyper at the time, but it was really cool. He was on another level. Bruce was on another level, and it was really cool to be. But there were countless people that would come through like this, countless celebrities that we had a chance to be able to, meet and greet. But the biggest one, as many people talk about, was just the fact of the Give Kids the World and Make-A-Wish. That would come out to these things. And it just, it was hard for us to be able to come out there as entertainers and keep our positivity and smiling faces and then go back and do another show. But it did help us know what we were doing the show for.
Oh, absolutely. And I wanted to show a quick clip of one of the coolest stunts in the show. And Jim, I'd like you to take us through this after we watch it. So here's Quasimodo saving the day, saving Esmeralda.
Therefore, it is my sacred duty to send this unholy demon back to hell for the sake of
when the crowd cheers,
all the timing involved. Wow.
So intense.
Because Frollo's holding actual fire. Quasi's got to go around him. You know what I mean? So take us. How does that segment work? That specific segment.
Well, I honestly wish I could tell you that Quasi's worked that. I as fight captain, I had absolutely zero to do with that. But I know that.
Okay.
I think that was a full-on Quasi thing. I dealt with the sword fighting and the hand-to-hand stuff. But with the torches, the torches you had to keep the trigger on. The minute you release the trigger, the torch would go out.
Okay.
And there was no he was nowhere near us. It may have appeared that way from the stage, and certainly watching it just now, man, I got goosebumps. But yeah, he was nowhere near the torch or anything like that. And I never saw it go wrong. Knock on wood. Well, I guess it's not going to happen again. No, nobody ever had an issue with it. I mean, it looks like so much fun. I forgot about that part. That's amazing.
Yeah. I think Robby talked about earlier the fact of it hooked on the cable and they would come around. But I do remember at times where like the weather could be bad and they were worried about the cauldron dump coming down and causing, where a lot of that, because that's legit coming down, flame in the spark and all that, where if there was too high of winds or something like that, I do recall them having to like nix some of that or that kind of thing would happen. Rarely, but sometimes on occasion where that had to happen just for the fact of safety.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure there were certainly, I mean, our Romani can talk to this, but the number of rain show, reblocks and things like that were intense.
Yeah. Do you guys remember back before they cut the confetti, when the confetti would clog up the drains? And then the guest area would flood under the seats toward the front of the show. And then lightning would come and they're on metal seats. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Lightning was a moat.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Ask Frank, Frollo Frank about that story. There's so many stories and like phrases I still tell and say to this day, like, thank you, Jeffrey Passmore, for the cake, or it's about time.
Yeah.
Like, there are just so many things that happen there that I just love.
Yeah.
Mark Ralston, you do Elvis all the time. I mean, come on.
Well, that's what's weird to me was
trumpet with your
was just coming into this from my point of view of being a singer, and then I'm doing Phoebus that doesn't sing at all.
Yeah, right.
Except I tried to, backstage and things like that. But it was just a really cool experience. Later on, I'm thinking the Phoebus was thinking they're all that in a bag of chips a lot of times when I'd come in there. And I just remember going, I think I said to Tom Vazano one time, I said, I wonder what it was in what was it in my audition? Do you know? Did you hear? What was it in my audition? And of course, in Tom's style, he did. He goes, Mark, you fit the suit. You look like I'm like, really? Thanks a lot, Tom. It really helps out. I fit the suit.
Oh my God.
Phoebus is the princess role. Phoebus really gets the easy part for the run of the show.
Very true.
I will say, because having worn both the Phoebus breastplate and the Victor couch, Phoebus breastplate was far worse. Victor couch had some airflow to it. That Phoebus breastplate, when you walked off stage, you were dripping.
Yeah. But Jim, we could never complain when we walked by Quasimodo because we just were like, we'll say nothing.
Here's some more shots you guys sent in.
Cool.
No.
Doug Wood, Brandon Goches.
Oh, there's Kevin Kline again.
That was such a great day.
It's cool.
Oh, Michelle, what was that like? Because there you are as Esmeralda.
Yeah. Oh, it was, I mean, just him there. And then, he was with Phoebe Cates, his wife at the time. My gosh, it was so cool. He's like, I've got my Esmeralda. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah, it was cool. And I remember that he wasn't like super outgoing. No, and Phoebe was goading. It's like, Kevin, do a picture. They want a picture. It's because of Phoebe we got a picture with them.
Yeah.
Come on, they want a picture, cool. Kevin.
There you are, so Krista. Sweet. Krista's in the back as Laverne in the top left. Mm-hmm. And there you are, Heather. You're in the front in the orange outfit in the bottom
as
left.
she should be.
Yes. I was obsessed with the movie French Kiss, and I had to tell him. I'm like, French Kiss is one of my favorite movies, and I said, "You're French, aren't you?" Or whatever. And he started talking French to me, and then I just shut up.
Oh my God!
Like,
so cool.
Oh, what? Aww. Why? Who put those up? Who turned those in?
Oh, there's trouble right there for sure.
You want to know
those three would light up the whole backstage, the front stage, and every stage.
That picture on the right is captioned "The Three is." I'll say it. I'll own it. But that picture on the left, that cast picture was like, it's still hard for me to look at. Like that was I mean, we found out the show was closing less than 2 weeks time, and all these fans showed up, and it was like the days flew by because after every show we would do meet and greets because all these people who loved the show over the years came and wanted pictures, and it was like so emotionally I just could not process it. And like that and then everybody showed up, not everybody, but I mean that was like this is your life of the last 5 years or longer probably for the people who opened it. And it was just, I remember it was just too much. I couldn't handle being with everyone because I loved everyone so much. And I just went back to my dressing spot and cried because I just, it was more than I could handle.
Hard show to say goodbye to.
I'm smiling on the outside, but I'm crying on the inside.
Did they ever talk about why they wanted to close it? Because that's a little bit what we spoke about earlier, but nobody seems to know the real reason. Do you think it was a budget thing, or they just were like, nobody's interested? Because it sounded like people were still interested.
No, it was still interested. I feel like it was more of just a budget or a change in what Disney kind of was looking to want to do with the park.
Yeah, they never tell us. They never tell us when something closes why, because we're the peons. But they don't want to be a museum for old shows, except for Beauty and the Beast, and and
keeps on keeping on.
Show, yeah,
preach it.
An expensive show, and maybe they wanted to put something else in, but then it just didn't happen. We don't know.
Yeah.
And
You just wish,
it wasn't because it wasn't a great show. It wasn't for that. It was popular. No. It was reasons that are above our pay grade.
Yeah. Right.
If only they would have enclosed it. It was just such a great show. Yeah. And especially it would have just kept it like it would look like a night show.
And didn't they used to like they did surveys, and Beauty and the Beast would win in summer, be the highest rated, but in winter we were always number one. Is that true? I recollect that. Because people were sweating so bad in the summer.
Right.
We only got a 9 out of 10, but in winter we were 10 out of 10, baby.
Yes. Yeah.
I loved in our wintertime shows when it would get darker earlier, and like certain tracks were on like the upper level of the stage, and I loved looking out onto New York Street at the intersection and seeing the giant mistletoe. It just like made me so happy.
We had it was like somebody talked about earlier, just the fact of how that show looked at night.
At night.
I mean, it was great in the day, but at night, it allowed all of the pieces to really come together.
All of the tech pieces that really just enhanced everything and pulled the focus where it needed to be. And so great.
And just how every single person just put everything into what they did to just make it that way,
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
Well,
Can I
before
tell
we
the
had
story about? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Do you want me to
Go
do you want
ahead.
me to
Go
shut
ahead.
up? Can I just tell a
No.
funny
Go ahead.
story
Go ahead. Tell the last
about-
story. That's fine.
about Tom Bazzana and John Graham, and I don't know if or who shared the stage with me, but I still tell this story. John Graham was Frollo, and Tom Bazzana was. I hope this doesn't get me. I told myself, don't.
You can't
talk
get
too
fired.
much.
Well, maybe.
Maybe.
I have like my baby toe in the door at Disney, so. But Tom Bazzana was Quasi, and Frollo, John Graham said, and they were really close friends. John Graham said, "And now, Quasimodo, I'm going to do what I should have done 20 years ago." And Tom was Quasi facing upstage, and he said, "Retire."
That's right. That's right.
I almost peed my pants. Because like he said, he was off mic. His mic was not on, and he was only something that could be heard, this way. And I don't know how John Graham.
There's a lot.
We could pull off a lot of that the audience never noticed, but we all did.
I remember Tom Bazzana saying, "Hey," he'd always have a theme for the show between us gargoyles, and he goes, "This show is Pick on Quasi show." So the whole show we're running into Robby and knocking her all over, but nobody knows but us that we're doing that. They think it's part of the staging, but it added a little extra spice to the show. I learned a lot how to keep a show fresh without the audience knowing you were doing little tricks like that.
Yes, I know Fran's coming up in the next segment. Listen, it was always, we were just spot on.
We were on it.
Well, let's go ahead. Let's take our Kodak moment. So everybody smile at the camera on the count of 3. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, smile. Fabulous. Well, let's go down the line. Mark, if you want to start, just give us one word that summarizes your experience on Hunchback.
Transformative.
Heather, you want to go next?
Mine's hyphenated. Once in a lifetime.
Krista?
Family for sure.
Only because today I've been moving out of my house and I'm drenched in, and I thought about this. It's sweat.
Good one. I'm going to say cherished. Yeah, forever.
Love it.
For sure.
Well, thank you guys. I love hearing all your stories and I saw you all chatting in the chat box. So thank you for spending the time and it's good to see you all.
Thank you for joining us, Tammy. That's great.
Thank you, Tammy.
Yes, Heather, don't sell it. Don't
sell it, Heather.
Don't you do it.
Write in the chat.
You have to wear it in August. No matter how hot it is, we have to wear a jacket.
Does it say Heather on it?
It does. You
Still
guys
have it.
I'm still embarrassed and I want to see him rip this out. But when I was in like the dance school back home, all the girls in like the senior company had like company written on their jackets. And so I wasn't opening company for Hunchback, but I had to write. And now I feel like an idiot. Like this didn't even go, like it doesn't make any damn sense. And people are like, is company your last name? And I'm like, so I still it still haunts me. What year is it? It's a long time.
And I still love your In Sync forever. Your shirt. You're wearing your In Sync, girl.
Come on. Yes.
They were the best.
They still are.
They still are.
Forever.
Still.
Alrighty, well, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to show a clip of Frollo at the very end of the show so you can see a little bit of an extra stunt. And here we go. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Tammy, thank you. Bye, all.
Now listen to me, don't you listen? All my life you told me the world was a dark and cruel place. Now I see the only thing dark and cruel about it is people like you in it. Murder, I know it hurts. And now the time has come to end the old suffering. She lives. You did a thorn in my side long enough for the murder. Now I'm going to do what I should have done 20 years ago.
Alrighty, we're coming to the end. Let us bring on the director, Fran. We've got Russell. We've got Cynthia, Jeff, and Tim. Hi, guys.
Hi.
How are you?
Hey, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Can you hear me?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Alrighty. And then I can
Can you
hear
guys
all
hear
of you.
me?
So welcome.
Yeah.
Yes, we can. We can hear you. So thank you guys for being a part of this. I'm so excited. You're our finale, as they say. So welcome. So why don't we go down the line as we've been doing our Brady Bunch style? If you could just introduce yourself and what role
I'm
you
sorry,
got to
I
play
can't hear
within the
Tammy.
show.
Cynthia?
Cynthia, can you hear us? She might need to rejoin. Let me see if I can write that. Cynthia, can you rejoin? We'll try it again. And who do we just lose? We just lost somebody else. Technology.
Russell.
It works.
Yeah, we lost Russell briefly.
And then it doesn't work.
I'll rejoin.
All right. Yep, she's going to rejoin. Perfect. All right. While we're waiting, Fran, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, Fran Soeder. And I'm was the director of the production.
And then Tim?
Where are they?
Wow.
Oh, we can't hear you, Tim. Mic's not on. Sorry.
My bad. Thank you.
Can you hear us now, Cynthia?
I can. Thank you.
Okay, no, perfect. And Tim, we still can't hear you. So why don't you leave and come back? It happens. And then Cynthia, can you introduce yourself and what role you played in the show?
Certainly. I'm Cynthia. I'm one of the ensemble cast members who opened the show in 1996. And later on, I was very fortunate to be able to be an understudy for Esmeralda. I did the show until I left for Animal Kingdom, I think in 99, but I was able to sub it up until it closed. So
awesome.
Amazing.
And Jeff?
Hi, Jeff Whiting. I was honored to be part of the original cast. I played Quasimodo, and I'm grateful every day for Fran giving me that opportunity. That was my very first job out of school. I auditioned as a senior at university, skipped my last final so that I could join for rehearsals. I did about the first year and a half, and to date, it's still one of the greatest experiences of my life.
Love it. And Tim, I think we can hear you now. I heard you laugh.
Yes, great, awesome. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Yes,
yes.
we
Okay,
can see you.
good. Hi. Hello, I'm Tim. I was track F and D, I think, opening cast, stilt walker, and I was the baby of the cast. I was only 20 years old when I did
I lost it again.
You lost me?
I keep getting kicked off.
Oh.
No, you're here, Russell. We could see you.
I see you, Russ.
I can't hear if it's me, so I'm going to get off again. For some reason, I keep losing sound.
Okay.
I love it.
You were the baby. How old were you then, Tim?
I was 20.
You were
I
20.
just turned 20.
Oh.
Yeah.
Love.
It was big. This was a big deal for me. Big deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, Fran, I hope you don't mind if I start with you because, again, you're the creator of the show. So when did they ask you to work on this project? Was it while they were working on the movie or towards the end of the run of the movie? Like, when did you step in?
Oh, no. We opened the same day as the film did. So I was brought in early. There would be various, sometimes you would just go into a little room and you would see mostly pencil, and but the big parts of each film seemed to always be done first. And when they make the films, it's recorded and the voices are done and recorded away before it's even drawn. So it was curious, and to me, watching it in the various stages that I watched, it just dictated its form. It just said, "This is what I need to be." And to me, it was they were a group of gypsies doing a puppet show in the street, and the puppet show comes alive. But you see the puppet show a lot come alive, but they're done by gypsies, and every touch of the set, the fabrics and staircases and trailers appear, and it's all because they're stolen, and largely from churches, including what they were wearing, thus the patches and wonderful things that were designed for the show, Tony Award-winning costumes. So that was pretty much how it happened for me. I just said, well, this got to always look like a show come alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the puppets. I'm going to show a quick clip of the puppets because we were talking about this, you and I, the other day. So here are the puppets.
Silence. I am placing you and your families under arrest. If you are innocent and what you say is true, then you have nothing to fear. Burn it. What? Till it smolders. These people are traitors and must be made examples of. With all due respect, sir, I was not trained to murder the innocent.
So that's just a little clip of the puppets themselves. Were great.
Yeah. Well,
designed by Michael Curry, right?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Anybody else wanted?
Were the puppets heavy? Did any of you guys have to hold the puppets at any time? How heavy were they?
Oh,
Cynthia
yes.
did.
Yeah, quite a bit. I will say the one thing, they weren't as heavy as you thought, but it would depend on which puppet you were talking about. But there was one tricky handoff at the beginning of it because one of the ensemble tracks was running Mrs. Moto, we called her, as opposed to dead Mrs. Moto, who fell off towards the front of the stage. And as I was doing that track, I'd run with the puppet, and there was a tiny baby Quasimodo on there, and you had to run down the ramp and run back up, and then they had the other puppeteer with the horse had to grab it and pull the baby out before the scene changed. And we lost sleep over that because the baby would go flying or the handoff wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
And so it was, I remember the first time we got it in rehearsal, we were just so excited because we would sit there and go the whole time, get this baby. Oh, wow.
And Clopin had a hand puppet.
Yes.
We had a hand puppet, which as a story in the show, and you'll remember this, Fran, we were in rehearsals and we just got given the puppets. And I had just gotten my hand puppet, me and Randy, because Randy and I both played Clopin. And we came back from lunch and it was missing. And we never got it back. And so, I mean, we got an original puppet right before we opened. So we ended up getting a puppet that was from Target. And it was the Clopin puppet from Target. And we used that through rehearsals. All the part of the rehearsals too. We got to the main stage. We had the puppet, and you know, I remember being told, "What do I do with this puppet?" I threw it off once. They're like, "Don't do that." I said, "It's not the real puppet." And then I finally got the real puppet, and it was like, you know, we had to figure out how to do it and clip it to our belt and get it on and get it off, and so that was really cool. But that puppet is still missing somewhere.
We never found out what happened to it.
We never found out what happened to it. Yeah, and I think someone told me that puppet was $6,000.
Oh my God!
Yeah. We can imagine what the big puppets were that Cynthia was using. Those things were amazing and very big and very detailed, and I can't imagine what those cost at the time, but they were fantastic.
Well, cost was a very wonderful thing on this show, because nobody above me ever said no. And and there came a point where the discussion of the Quasimodo puppet, the bid was for $25,000 for one puppet. Well, what the producers decided, and it was wonderful and professional, was that then you get one, and you have to make sure that. Now, I don't know if there was a second one that ever showed up, guys, but I do know that just the Phoebus and Esmeralda, they were around $25,000.
Wow!
And,
good Lord!
They had people backstage that maintained them too.
Yeah.
Oh, what I mean, it was like the person that kept the mummy alive. He was so talented.
Yeah.
So, Fran, you have your Quasimodo. So let me just show a picture of him.
Wow.
There he is.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
My producer, when I came home finally, there was a big box, and he greets you in my hallway. When you open my loft, I have a very big loft, and he greets you when you walk in, and he's well lit, and Patrick built his case. Patrick is my partner. So
that's beautiful.
Very nice.
Oh,
that's great.
So cool. I'm so glad he made it to you.
Yes, and it was a beautiful gesture of our producer Matt Conover, and I believe Steve Zimmerman was in on there, and they were I mean, a lot of the show is that the producers never said no, and so much of that happens, especially on Broadway and regional theaters, and you know, and somebody has to make some very big sacrifices. And if it was that there was that one little Quasimodo with the little screw to hang him just to keep him extra safe. And
Aw.
So, you know,
I don't know why I paired him with the Liza Minnelli photo, but there it is, right next to it. Were any of you there for the Liza Minnelli visit?
No, I don't.
No.
No, not me.
No.
I have a favorite puppet. my favorite puppet ever in the whole thing of the show was the Esmeralda puppet that went around for about a week and a half, that went around Quasimodo and hung from Quasimodo. As Quasimodo went over like this dead Esmeralda. Just
there she is.
There she
is.
Yes,
She's
there
my
she is.
favorite.
Yes, and the legs would go crazy as we try to get her across.
Yeah.
And I had to on opening day in that morning. Doug May came to me and said, you gotta fix that. And I said, Doug, this whole set was designed for that. The ladder and that was a puppet. It was a puppet thing, And I went in there that morning and I fixed it. And I didn't even have time, God bless her soul, to consult Janet on it. It was just like most people just showed up for the first performance. And but we learned it quickly. And anybody want to add into that? It's so good to see you all.
Yeah.
You too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will add in. We were all hoping it was going to get cut.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all between us, and we never said it to you, Fran, because
I
we
wish.
thought the show
I
was.
listened.
Oh yeah, we thought the show was brilliant, and we were all absolutely, amazed by everything that was happening. But we were all going, if we could just cut that big dummy. And the reason why was it just didn't feel real, and everything else felt so real. And so that's why we were all going like, and then you made the decision. We all went, yes.
Yeah. Well, I was disappointed. I was disappointed with the doll or whatever it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But I was it was one of my flaws. I was being kind of stubborn about something because it was such a big part of the set was designed for that section of music and everything. And it just, I just had trouble letting go of it. And I would have been the one on opening that 2 hours later when the first performance started that stood up like Doris Day in The Man Who Knew Too Much and screamed. That would have happened. It would have. And Janet would have done it too.
Oh, yeah.
Fran, do you think this photo is that moment when you told the cast?
Yeah, we're not. I will say that she hung from the rafters for years and watched over us.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
She did. Yes.
She did. They had her hung from the fly space up there, and every once in a while, didn't you guys used to have it? Yeah, right there.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder where she's now.
Good question.
Fran, you fought for Quasimodo's prosthetics.
Yes.
I mean, prosthetics, and I know that Jeff can speak to it. We were all worried about that. You fought hard, and we were all praying on that one too. Because tell that story. Please.
I think in long perspective, someone somewhere was trying to put one of those
character heads,
Mickey Mouse sized Quasimodo head. And it was getting rougher and rougher, and the makeup was being developed and it was, being worked on, but I can't see well enough on my screen. But there was one point where a photo shoot was held, and
that's the picture.
Was it you, Jeff?
Yes, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you continue from there.
Yeah, I mean, part of what you created, Fran, which was so beautiful, was the real story of Quasimodo. And so the idea of, not being able to share those expressions, was, for me as an actor, quite challenging to figure out how to do. And so we did this test. I remember doing a few, run-throughs with it. And for whatever reason, somebody decided that we would go with the prosthetics piece instead. And I was grateful for that as an actor to be able to go in and be able to use most of my face. The nose and the forehead was all.
No, it was it was imperative.
Yeah.
It was imperative.
Yeah. So
And
I'm glad we got that sorted out.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
It just looks so much better. And, you know,
No,
I feel like,
that-
as I said before, a lot of kids who were coming to the show really identified with Quasi from his looks.
Yes.
So that was very important too. So really,
Yeah.
that was the right decision.
Well, for me, it began with safety and the rope swing, and you know, you know, I mean, it was a dangerous show. One of the things, looking at some of the clips this week that I pulled out, was the fact that the whole thing was a fun house of spiral staircases turning into connecting staircases and things hanging and being taken care of, and you know, brilliantly designed by James Leonard Joy, and painted within an inch of its life,
I love how you have like things moving while the characters are singing. So let's actually watch a quick clip of Jeff as Quasimodo singing Out There.
Yay.
Out there, just one day, and then I swear I'll be content with my share. Won't resent, won't despair, all and I won't care. I'll have spent one day young.
Jeff, you were so good.
Oh, thank you.
So good.
But such a beautiful way, Fran, that you thought of because that's a really iconic moment from the animated feature as well, is up on top of that spire and the camera goes around it. But to find that way, to have the foresight to design something, and I think
with stolen gypsy jewelry. Everything, you know, it's not a real thing from Notre Dame, but it's something that they put together and glued, and it's probably worth $1 million.
Yeah, and it was a beautiful moment. I think, Tim, you were often at the base of that, helping to spin that around.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with that spire.
And Russ, you were saying something? Wow.
Oh no, I just simply said that I thought I loved Jeff's performance, and I really did. And when we went through rehearsals, it was such a joy to watch his discovery of that character, and that we were all doing that. I mean, we were all of us that were original cast. You know, Cynthia and Jeff and I, and you know, we were all in. And Tim, you were original cast, yeah. Yeah, and so we were all original cast, and we were all in this great place of discovery. I will say, here's one of my favorite stories about you, Fran, and that is, I remember your talks, and he would sit and talk, and you guys will remember when he would step up in front of us and start talking. And Fran has a way of weaving a story and saying it in a very soft-spoken voice, but he would tell the story, and you get very caught up in what he was saying. And he'd use very specific words, and which taught me a lot from as an actor and also as a director. But he said, and this pertained to me, he said, Clopin is the self-proclaimed king of the gypsies. And it like, boom, went off in my head. And I waited till it was all finished. And I walked up to him. I said, hey, Fran, self-proclaimed. You mean like he took it? And he goes, probably. And I went, oh, well, that's a very different guy. Yeah. And to me, it was like that just, in my head, it was like, well, he's the dark guy. He's the guy that would have killed Quasimodo and Phoebus. That's the guy. What he does, you know, in, you know, the up, you know, character gestury thing is all the stuff he puts on for people to see. But the real guy is a much more complicated person. And that made me rethink how I played the character. And it was all in his statement. That one, those two little words went so into me and ingrained in me. And that's what I saw so much in you, Jeff, and your performance. I just saw depth. And it meant a lot to me, you know, because I was growing as an actor and we were all growing as actors and as performers. So I gained so much.
I had a very long history with characters. I opened the Mermaid show, which says,
that one too.
I mean, puppets. Oh yeah, puppets. And then I opened the really big Lion King show, and the puppets were cosmetically beyond gorgeousness. And but for the Little Mermaid, the casts were all puppeteers, and they were clothed from head to toe in ninja black. And in the Lion King show, I mean, the puppets were life size. So the audience looked at a stage with a great big theater with life size puppets that looked exactly like the movie and did beautiful things. And but they didn't know is that the characters were underneath the floor with these intricate machinery and things. And Hunchback for me was a chance just to say, you guys, you're all over the park, but you know, you're hidden there, you're under a stage, or you're in black with a puppet that's lit. And I just thought, because most of them could sing and all of them could dance. And
they were all lead. Everybody was a lead character in that show because it was it's an ensemble.
It was an ensemble.
And I would love to mention my collaborator. 50% of what's on the stage is Janet Watson, my dear beloved.
Janet was amazing.
Truly,
she was wonderful.
Do you mind if I take a moment there, since you mentioned Janet? We've lost a couple of Hunchback friends along the way. I might not be hitting everybody tonight, and I apologize, but I just wanted to go through. We have Aaron, who is on the top left, Michael in the middle, Jody on the far right, Josephine. I couldn't find a picture of her. Tuck is on the bottom left. Anthony, I missed on getting a photo. Jim as well. And then, as you said, you're a wonderful choreographer on the bottom right. So I just wanted to make sure, Janet, I just wanted to make sure that they were mentioned.
I would like to mention Russell Jordan, because
Russ Jordan
just adored the show. And he just everybody kept maintaining, you know. I was gone a year, maybe two, it felt like 2 years, but I was gone and gone. But the show, and I saw clips and clips and clips, and it was magnificently preserved and cared for. And you all loved the show so much.
Yes.
It was wonderful.
It's true. And what you created, Fran, and what you and Janet created, it's touched so many lives. You know, even just looking at the people who have been on tonight and these folks here who have passed on, like this story, beyond just this version of the story, your version of the story has had such an amazing impact. I know just personally on my life, but compound that by the many hundreds of people that have been involved in it through the years. We are so grateful to you.
Oh God.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are.
And it was an experience so unique. I mean, there was as good a show backstage as there was on stage.
Sometimes.
And
there was a lot of running.
You showed some concept pieces. So I just wanted to show these because I know we're on limited amount of time here, but here's one and here's another of the stage before.
That's a much closer to finished one. By the wonderful James Leonard Joy, and and there's our model. And the wonderful thing is, oftentimes you look at renderings and the model, and when it gets to the stage, it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like what you told me it was going to look. It isn't that color, and this isn't there. And where's that staircase? Well, this was exactly as it was, and it was a riot to be. I mean, exhausting, but a riot to watch.
Beautiful. Yeah, for sure.
It was so good to
Fran,
see
you
you
also
all.
had a
absolutely.
Yes.
Fran, can you tell us a little bit about the letter from Michael Eisner on the left? This is also your production team on the right. I don't think I can read it, but
on the right, well, we start with Jeff Conover, who was the puppet master on the show. Gosh, I'm blanking for a moment. Is it Russell? No,
that's Mark Burton.
Mark
Burton.
Stage manager, and there is, however you were, it would be Fran or the other Fran, or Fran or the other Fran. You know, it's whoever was there. It was the Fran, and then there was the other Fran, and next to the other Fran is Janet, who had once
your choreographer.
Yes, and she brought Marge Champion, our champion's wife, to see the show, and Marge Champion said, "I'd like to go backstage and I'd like to meet every woman in the cast and tell her how beautiful and lovely," and she really meant that you know, women in the chorus, men in the chorus, everybody on stage needs to know. And you guys just nailed it. And Eisner could not get in to see it, and everybody was carrying on like this is like, whoa, you know, there's like a Broadway show in a theme park. That was exactly what they were saying. A Broadway show.
Well, because you guys opened in June, and this letter from Michael's dated 10/9/1996. It says, "Fran, congratulations on Hunchback. What a fantastic show! I really appreciate all the hard work and talented work. Well done, best, Michael." So he didn't see it for months. It sounds like.
No, and his schedule was heavy, and he was an incredibly great supporter of mine. And he just said, send in a camera crew and just however much time. And I can't talk about that. I was not there at the time. But
I did the show that he came to, and he came to a night show, and it was it was a beautiful. Obviously, everybody has already said tonight how gorgeous the night show was. It was stunning, and he came to a night show, and what we got told by Mark Burton, I believe, came backstage and said to us. He loves the show and asked if everybody was Broadway. And, you know, I don't think anybody at that point had done Broadway from our cast, but people done national tours and stuff like that. Some of them had, but
I think Amy had. I think Amy had done.
I think
Amy had.
I think,
yeah. But he loved it and didn't come stage. But Alan Menken came back later. Do you remember when Alan Menken came back?
Yeah, I never knew he saw
it. And brought his family backstage with it and loved it and kind of gushed on us, which was great for all of us. We were like,
for sure. Yeah.
I want to talk about Janet a little bit more too, just because of the whole, she was what the kids would call a vibe today. Because it was really, really cool the way she choreographed the show. Because if you look at it from beginning to end, there's very little 5, 6, 7, 8 choreography. She really would come up to you, okay, your character is this, and you're walking here, and this is the thing, and this is what I want you to present to the people. The moves, you can do whatever moves you want, but I want them to feel like this. And with your vision of every person being basically an individual character in the show, it just really was more cohesive than you could ever think of at the very beginning that it would be. It was beautifully done.
Yeah.
And then she would quietly, you know, walk up to me, and she would, you know, we'd be doing a big choral number, and the capes had come in. It was the first day with the capes, and she came over to me and very quietly said, "Fran, this is a disaster." And she would just come over and she'd go, "Fran, this is a disaster." But we knew we were going way out on the limb. We were going way out on the limb to put a show like that on in a theme park.
That's her on the far left, by the way, in that blue shirt. That's her in the photo, just so people know who Janet was.
Bottom left.
Yeah. You guys finished each other's sentences. That's what it always felt like to. I think that's what it always felt to me.
And she was married to the famous composer team, Jones Schmidt, who wrote the Fantastics. And she, I met her. I had opened off Broadway a very wonderful musical that had never been revived, and It was called 110 of the Shade, and it was by Jones and Schmidt.
Oh, yeah.
It was a Broadway show. Did not run a great deal, but it was a wonderful show, and it had never been revived. Well, one night, our producer was taking in the money, and Tom Jones and Harvey Schmidt, and probably 100% Janet Watson was there. I was in Cleveland doing Sweeney Todd, but they said, we're here to close the show. And Janet Hayes Walker said, no, boys, go in, go watch the show, go see it. You'll like it. And within a week, I had gotten a phone call from Tom and Harvey asking me to direct their newest show that would premiere in New York at my theater company, the New York Theater Company at the time. And I met Janet because she was Tom's wife, and she cooked. But we would go up to their house in the country, and she would cook these major breakfasts and dinners, and we would create the show. We would act it out, and Harvey would go, and Harvey would stay in a cottage outside of the little great big mansion they had up in the mountains. But I got to know, and I think I got drunk for my first time in my life, drinking too much wine in front of them, and I called them the kids. No one knows that story.
That's great.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, here, I want to. Somebody sent me actual footage from the final show back in September of 2002. So here's the finale of Hunchback and the wonderful audiences that were there that day cheering them on. So here we go.
Wow. Fantastic.
What a legacy you created, Fran. So
That's you, Fran.
Yep.
That's it. Yes.
Should have
Thank you.
gone on for decades.
Well, they had a long run.
Should have.
You know, all those shows I did have long runs.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you guys so much for being a part of this tonight. You know, I'm glad we got to end with this crew. Thank you guys. It's been so sweet. And we should do our Kodak moment. So let's go ahead. We'll look at the camera. Everybody make a big smiles. 1, 2, 3, smile. Perfect. Well, I thank you guys so much for being on the show tonight. This has been such a joy. I really, really appreciate it. And Fran, thank you for creating the show.
Yes.
Thank you. Do we get to do words?
Yes, of course. I almost
Audio,
forgot.
I'll
Look,
be right
see,
back.
please. So, Fran, why don't you start? Give us the word
Don't
that
leave
summarizes the
without
whole
me.
experience.
I don't know what the question is. I couldn't hear.
Sorry, I was just saying, go ahead and give me your word that it summarizes your experience.
It's a Janet Watson word. Stunning.
Mm-hmm.
To watch, it was stunning.
Jeff, what about you?
I'm going to say sanctuary.
Oh.
Cynthia?
Sorry, I'm glad I got back before you guys finished. Family, some of my best friends in my life I met at that stage.
Yeah.
Russell?
Mine would be blessed. It was a blessed experience from, beginning to end.
And finally, Tim.
I'd say brilliant start, because it started me on the path I'm on right now, and I'm still continuing to perform and still touring and everything. So Hunchback started it for me.
Bravo. If there's anything I can do to help you, let me know.
Thanks, Fran.
Recommendation.
I love it. Absolutely.
Okay.
And
Tammy,
when I
thank
was
you for coordinating this.
oh my God, no, it was my pleasure. And I have to shout out to Andrea Canny as well, because she really introduced me to all of you lovely people. So thank you to Andrea for helping me put this together. Thanks to everybody who's been watching from the top. It's been so wonderful. When I was sent all these photos and home videotapes, it was wonderful to kind of just relive it again. And what a magical time. And it was so interesting. I found a clip of Michael Hartson, who was one of the people who was no longer with us, who was one of the Phoebuses with Mark when they used to do John Smith and Phoebus. And it was just so interesting to find this quick clip that goes into the cake that closes out the end of the show, because this was on the last day. So I hope you don't mind if I just play this quick clip.
I've got to go.
And with that, everybody, thank you all for joining this evening. If you had fun and you want to see some more reunions like this, I want to do some more. I don't know about you guys, but 3 hours wasn't enough.
No.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you, Tammy.
Yes, thank you, Tammy.
And thank you, Fran.
This was wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, you can go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And you can go ahead and follow me at TammyTuckey.com. And again, thanks to everybody who was on the broadcast tonight. We had like over 25 people. So it was so wonderful to see all of you. And remember, everybody, what makes a monster and what makes a man? Think on that. And I hope you all have a good evening. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.